What's up, peoples? What's up, peoples? It's your favorite bean mofo, fresh off the banana boat. Big Lou tapping on in with what it do with Big Lou. First time you're coming to the channel, be highly appreciated. If you like, if you sub, like, and comment it, and share the channel. I'll be tapping in here shortly, waiting for a few people to get in, and I got a guest. Hopefully, he's going to be jumping on with me, and maybe we might have two different perspectives on this topic, the situation that was steaming over for some time with the boss at the time, the alleged boss at the time, Big Paul Castallano, and John J.Gotti, aka Johnny Boy, aka Junior, and see what we come up with. Bella and friends. What's the oh, I was not turning the turtle. I know you got a turtle, right? Don't you have a turtle as well? What's the name of your turtle? It's one of Bella. It's one of Bella's friends, right? The turtle. Let me drop the link. See if I can remember how to do this. Okay. Go. Oh no, just a dog. Oh, because I had seen the turtle in one of the videos. All right, there's the link. Anybody wants to come on? Let me give me 1 second, people. Okay. What we got here? HTTPS. Right. StreamYard.com. HF CP HF CP 7R 85 TM. I like rabbits, they're tasty. There's a wild rabbit in my video. Oh, okay, it was a wild rabbit. Okay, I thought that was part of the friends thing. I thought that was part of the friends, you know, Bella and friends. The dog was Bella, and I thought the friends was the turtle and things like that. So, agnostics, I dropped the link. Tap that link if you want to come in. Okay. Okay, there it is. Sorry about that. I had to make a couple. I wanted to let a couple people know. One guy's at a work dinner, so he ain't gonna be able to come in. I spoke to him this morning, but I ended up falling back to sleep and not making it. I ended up sleeping through. I was gonna do this originally this morning, about 8 o'clock my time, 11 o'clock Eastern time, and like I said, I had slept all day yesterday and through most of the night, and then I woke up like real late in the morning, about 3 in the morning, and then so I went ahead and put in for 8, and then I think I ended up falling asleep around 6 back, and I slept all the way until like noon. So I took full advantage of my day off. Agnostics, you see the link there, right? I dropped the link for you already. If you hit that, we can get into it. So as you guys can see from the thumbnail, this is regarding. I don't know if you guys look at the description ever. Here we go. Yo, you there?
Yo, what's up, kid?
My man, what's up, man?
Yeah, same old shit.
Yeah, I put it off. For an hour and 15 minutes because I was waiting in line for a haircut, but I was outside. I signed my name up on the list and I went outside, and then I noticed there was a lot of people and I noticed no movement. So then I went back inside, and my barber and his wife were not there. Only the nephew was there. So you had like 7 people in line, and he was the only barber. Plus, I don't like to do that. I stick with my same barber, you know. So once I made contact with him, he said, "Oh no, he won't be back till Monday." And I'm like, "Oh shit, okay." So because they're closed tomorrow, so I went ahead and left. And then I said, you know what, I'm just gonna jump in the shower now. So that's what happened. That's why I'm a little late, but nonetheless, we're still here. So yeah, so what's
going on?
That's about it. Just wanted to do this. I had this thing scheduled for this morning, but I fell asleep. I woke up real late, around 3 in the morning. Slept all evening yesterday. Went to sleep real early. Woke up like 3 in the morning. Went ahead and set the show for the live for 8 o'clock this morning, my time, and I ended up falling asleep like about 6. I think it was about maybe 5. I fell asleep, and I ended up sleeping all through the night. I mean, all through the morning, and sleeping over the 8, the start time. So then I just took it off, and then I figured let me try to make contact with some people and see if they'll come on and help. Not help. Well, yeah, help and assist. I would say more assist. And bounce off each other, maybe we have a different perspective of things, on this topic here. So, the thumbnail. I don't know. Did you see the thumbnail?
Yeah, it was about Big Paul and
Johnny. Yeah. So it's Drito 5K. What's going on? So I want to talk about basically, what. Let's talk about the things that we know as far as what we read. Not saying it's true, but the alleged things that supposedly went down leading up to the killing on December 16, 1985. And, we hear Sammy the Bull's perspective, but I think he throws a lot of twists on shit to make himself look more important and more of the hero, so to speak.
Well,
what I mean?
I still believe to this day that Sammy and John were not there when Paul got clipped. Right. I still believe to this day that they were not there.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the main points about that. It's like why would you have the guy who's looking to take it over? If what if something goes wrong, then how's I just don't think he would be sitting there that close watching from a car. You know what I mean? Just they had what 12 shooters, 10 shooters, 8 shooters, something like that. There was plenty of guys. You know what I mean? For Sammy to be a backup shooter, one of the backup shooters, according to his that's the story.
That's bullshit. And let's say there have been a lot of hits in New York City that didn't go the way they were supposed to. So let's say they clipped Paul and or they didn't clip him. They hit him in the shoulder and they hit him in the fucking ass. And Paul and his driver, which was Tommy Bellotti from Staten Island, if they had seen John and Sammy sitting there, that's an automatic death sentence. So,
of course.
So I never believed it. They would have not been there.
Right. That's just one avenue. That's one avenue of it if it went wrong. The other avenue is if it just it went wrong and they end up having a shootout or the cops end up somehow intercepting what was going on, happened to come up on it and rounding them all up because he was known at that time already. So it wasn't like he was just this up and comer and nobody knew who he was. He was already well known, always, in the papers already for charges and things like that. So yeah, I don't buy that they were sitting right there.
Well, you got to remember for the feds explained to Sammy that he had to put John at the scene to make that homicide work.
Right.
If he couldn't put him at the scene, the homicide charge wouldn't have stuck. Number one. Number two, according to Sammy the Snake, he said that he was there, and if cops would have gotten involved, he would have killed the cop. That is, again, Cosa Nostra, 100%. If you shoot a cop, you will be clipped. Bottom line.
Right.
So that was another bullshit story.
And on top of all that, John was the only one that went down for that murder, right? None of the other dudes went down. Skinny Dom, Bobby Borrello was killed, but he was killed after Sammy testified. Eddie Lino was killed, right? All these other guys were there though. They've been around still. And why didn't they go after them dudes, the feds? You know what I mean? Well, we know why. They wanted the big fish. They're willing to do whatever it took to lock them up, right? Otherwise,
absolutely.
Otherwise, Sammy wouldn't have walked away with 5 years on 19 murders he was involved with somewhere or another, and also where he was able to do it at a plush location at the FBI headquarters, right, in the Quantico, where it was more like he was doing time in an apartment complex or an apartment. You know what I mean? Where they would allow him to run around outside. They would take him into the city to get haircuts and have dinner with his wife. I don't know what prison they do that at.
Yeah.
No.
After my name is Salvatore is a lie when it comes out of his mouth.
Yeah. Right. I mean, we know in his heyday, when he was involved, he was a serious guy. We know that, but I believe I got a couple things I believe. Well, obviously, if the Chico was Frankie the Chico never was killed, I believe things would have been differently.
Oh,
obviously,
absolutely.
he wouldn't have been. Yeah, obviously, he wouldn't have been part of the administration. I don't believe, right? Because a lot of people,
no,
like the movie Gotti. I just watched that movie Gotti yesterday again, the HBO. And they got the movie jacked up, right? They got Joe Piney as the consigliere. They got Frankie the Chico ends up taking his spot because he retires. They got Gene not Gene, but Pete. They got Pete being made already. You know what I mean? And we all know he didn't get made till after John took over, right? Probably sometime in 86 or 87, I believe. He probably got made because his son was made in 88, right?
Yep.
Jeannie was made before John because Jeannie was out. John was busted when he got made, right?
I'm not sure, but I believe so.
Yeah, they say Jeannie got made first because Jeannie was out on the streets. John was locked up for that McBratney murder. And then he got made once he got out, him and Angelo, right?
Yes.
But also Sammy wasn't even a full-fledged captain yet when this went down. He was elevated to full captain after the hit, right? And then that was after Toto decided to step all the way down, right? Yeah, Joe Piney died in jail. So did Joe Gallo. I believe Joe Gallo did. But Joe Piney was a captain back then. He wasn't the consigliere at the time. I know I said that name wrong. I just can't, for some reason, I can't pronounce it right. Consigliere. Yeah, I can't. Consigliere. Yeah, I can't say it. I say the G all the time. He was a captain, and then he went way back with these guys. He was old school. His brother was even older than him, Stephen or Steven, however you pronounced it. Armani was even older than Joe. He was old school, right? Way back when Mangano family, right? And then they don't even mention Joe Gallo, who was actually that was really his position, right? I think Armoni got promoted once Chico got killed. They promoted him to be cool with the old timers. That's what I believe, right? And I'm pretty sure that's what that's what it boils. I believe that's what it boils down to. They bumped him up, kind of like on a according to Sammy. I don't know. Again, how really true is some of this shit. He made it sound like he was bumped up as underboss to as a figurehead only, really, just to be in good standings with the old timers. You know what I mean? Such as probably what? I mean, they had a lot of old timers still around at that time. What was his name? Joe Curie. Carlos, you want to jump on?
Well,
Joe Curie. They had a lot of old timers. Yeah, go ahead.
I've seen that happen before, where they do put an old timer up, or they'll put somebody up for a political reason. I have seen that growing up, but to be honest with you, I can't accept anything that Sammy Gravano says. And you got to remember something: when all of these movies are made, they're getting all their information from rats.
Oh yeah.
So you always have to be mindful of that.
Yeah, rats and whatever they picked up on wires, they try to, wiretaps. They try to put things together, put the puzzle together or whatever. But yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it is what it is. But so we know. I mean, it seemed like dating back to '73, right? Or I think it was '73 when they went and got that dude in the bar, right, for kidnapping Carlos' nephew.
James McBratney.
Right. Okay. So they go and get this guy, and then that guy Gaglione, right? I believe that was his real name.
Galleone.
Galleone, right? So I believe they went in there and whatever happened there. I don't know in real life, did they really clip that dude? Like the movie?
James McBratney, yeah. No, they killed him.
Not McBratney, but Gaglione.
I'm not even sure about that.
Yeah, I'm not either. So from the movie, Big Paul's upset and wants John whacked for killing his Lucine, right? Remember he was saying that? That's my Lucine, blah, blah, blah. But it seems, with the riff, what was going on with his crew as far as with Angelo and his brother, and then I guess they hooked up with Angelo's brother Sal, right? Salvatore, I believe his name was. He was involved in the junk, but he wasn't a member. I don't even think he was an associate. I guess he had a plane crash or a helicopter crash or something like that, and he took over his brother. Yeah, so he took over his brother's business, and I think John Carniglia was involved too, right? What's up? What's real? They take over, right? And then this guy's house gets bugged. His daughter's phone gets bugged, right? And they pick up a lot of conversations, and then he gets indicted. They get indicted on the drug beef, right? Let me see.
No, you got it right.
Okay. What's up, Los?
How's the audio?
You good?
Is that agnostic?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, kid?
What's going on, brother?
Yeah, so they have the audio. I guess he's making some, he's talking a lot of shit on there. Maybe he's insulting Paul and different people. and he's having conversations with different people. Obviously, it's being recorded, right? So he gets indicted, and then Paul wants the tapes, right? He wants copies of the tape so he can listen. Listen what's being said. Plus, it was a no-no to deal, but we all know that they were all doing it, right? Or not all of them, but a lot of them were doing it. But it was only an issue when you got caught.
Yeah, Lou, that's not correct. That's not quite correct. Paul had copies of the tape. He had the tapes already. He just wanted to see if Gotti would turn them over. He had already had the tapes. The problem that Paul Castallano had was that there were hours of tapes that were created by him. So when people say that Gotti was the reason and it was all Gotti and it was Angelo quack, that is Angelo. It's true that Angelo was on wiretaps, but so was Paul Castallano. So when people say it was all Gotti, that's incorrect.
Right. That's another thing I want to touch on. I mean, we could do that here, but I was thinking about doing that in another video. But I don't believe that either. I'm right with you on that. There was too much shit going on with other families, with people being left in the streets, a lot of bodies. And then on top of that, before, especially the commission case, a lot of people were caught on tapes, just about all of them, right? At restaurants, in the social clubs, in their vehicles, at their homes. You know what I mean? So to say that he brought that down is a crock of shit. That's one of the things that always that I never agreed about. And the other thing was that he was afraid of Roy DeMeo, which I don't buy that one either.
Nope, not true.
We talked. Me and my brother Lou talked about that. See, I had the privilege of spending some time, and I got to know somebody that was close to him. That knew him since childhood, and he said the man was absolutely fearless. So I'm not listening. I'm not buying that bullshit.
Right.
No, not true.
Right. And RJ had a show today, a live show with Mikey Jr. and the father, and that came up again, and he was like, oh yeah, he told when Paul told him, he straight up said no. He turned down an order to take out Roy DeMeo, but before that he peed on the floor, and the lady Gloria cleaned up the pee and all that. He was being sarcastic. But I got his point. Some people didn't get what he was trying to say at first. They were like, "Huh?" They really believed what he was saying, But
so I didn't see it. Mikey Scars is saying that John was not afraid of Roy. Correct.
Correct. He doubled down on it. He doubled down on it today. He said it before, but today when he was saying it in a sarcastic manner, and some people didn't get it at first. They were like, he was saying that. First of all, he turned down an order from the boss, which we know that's a no-no. And then secondly, he peed on himself right there in the kitchen with a puddle of pee right on the floor.
Yeah, okay.
You gotta hear it. But let me turn this thing up a little bit. This thing's freezing, man.
Yeah. Hey, listen, John Gotti peed on himself, and then right after he put on a flowered skirt and ran around 18th Avenue.
Oh, that was the other part of it. That was the other part of what he was saying. He was like, "Oh yeah, he peed on himself with this guy." But then he went and got, Frankie Loke and Chico and Armani and Sammy, and they went to go put a plan together to kill the boss. So how freaking, it just didn't make sense.
Well, here's something that a lot of people miss in this whole, all the mobologists miss when they make silly statements like Gotti was scared of him. All right, number one, Paul did not like John. That's a known fact. Paul did not like John. All right. And Roy DeMeo, Paul did not like Roy DeMeo, but Roy DeMeo was one of his ace hitters, right? Roy was Paul's muscle. Now, you got to think about this. When that hit allegedly came down, it was given to John Gotti, which is bullshit. Because Paul would not give the hit to John Gotti. Because I would imagine that he would have feared John Gotti going to Roy DeMeo and saying, "Listen, Paul wants me to clip you," and they get together and they kill Paul. So Paul, from what I know, growing up in the streets of New York, Paul would have never given that hit to John Gotti. He gave it to Nino Gadji, which we find out later to be true. he would not give it to John Gotti because he would be afraid that John Gotti would turn around and double cross him. So I always laughed when I heard this story on the Bio channel, on what's that idiot, Jeff Nadeau, and all these fucking clowns say that John Gotti got the order and turned it down. You turn down an order, you're dead. That's the bottom line.
Exactly.
He was never given that order because Paul would have never given him that order.
Right. So what do you think? Look at it. I agree with it. Because you got to also look at it at this aspect. People don't understand. Paul wasn't stupid. Paul was very intelligent. So Paul would have already understood that for you to get Roy, you got to be close to him.
Right. What about? What do you think? What? Go ahead. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
His circle did that. The only way you could get a person like Roy, you got to be his circle. The ones he taught, his students. You know, order's an order. And no matter how much you love Roy, they tell you he got to go, he got to go.
Right. And that's usually how the organizations do it. All the organizations, they get somebody that can get close to him to take him out. Like with Paulie G, right? It was his best friends, right? I mean, that's the first example that came to my mind. But there's a ton of different examples. Just like Sam Giancana, right? Whoever got him, he let him in the door, right? There was no struggle. There was no break-in, no signs of break-in. He let the person in. You know what I mean?
It's that lifestyle. It's always been that lifestyle. It's your best friend.
Right. Correct. Or your family member, somebody that can get close to you without you detecting, even though you know that you're in bad water, in hot water right now. It's always the person that can get next to you. But let me ask this: why do you think Paul didn't like Roy and John? Was it because their actions, what they were doing, or do you think it had anything to do because they weren't Sicilian?
No, no. Me personally, I thought his nose was up in the air. He liked everybody as long as he was getting money from you. That was his thing, But as far as like his inner circle and everything, I don't know. He looked at them as street. He was a Wall Street newspaper reading. They were daily news. You understand?
They were barbarians.
Yeah.
Right.
They cut, they talked. They were street, and he wasn't that. He was upscale. So.
But he became like that later on in life. You believe he'd never been on the street ever?
He was in the streets, not like they were. That's why he could never have the influence Neil had. He didn't live in the streets like that, But he knew his stuff. But also, you got to forget he was who he was alongside all this his whole time. Carlo.
Oh yeah, yes. You said Carlo, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, cousin. So his cousin.
Yeah, he was trained by the best, the boss himself. So everybody else is beneath him, even before he became boss.
Why do you think that Carlo gave it to Paul and not his own son, Tommy?
Family. Tommy's different. Tommy's a sweetheart. Tommy won for that. Tommy was cool. Tommy's educated. Tommy won for that. Tommy did it because he had to do what he did for his pop. Tommy could have been anything he wanted. So did his brother Joe. So yeah,
he wasn't hard enough.
Nah, he wasn't. He was a sweetheart. Like a genuine, sweetheart of a man, soft spoken. Like you would not believe who he is.
I believe he's about 92, 94 years old right now. He's still alive. The other brother passed away. I think the other brother passed away a few months ago. Joseph, I think Joe passed away.
Joe was more out there. Joe was more the flashy dresser, cool down to earth.
Plus, these guys got a ton of money, man. Even though they were ordered to pay, in their conviction, federal conviction, they were ordered to give up some of the garment district, or maybe all of it. I'm not sure how that worked, but they had to pay a fine, tens of millions of dollars, and they're still worth a lot of money. Unbelievable.
I was with Tommy. He did his thing like a man. Quiet, kept to himself, read his books. He was just always a gentleman, always a loner. Kept to himself, was always real humble, very polite, like just a sweetheart of a person, good person.
Right. And then, because you always hear, you hear the little, I don't know how true this is, but you hear the guys, making wisecracks about Sicilians and Napolitans and Calabrese and, I've heard this being said before, but it's not true because they said that the male would never be more than a soldier because he wasn't Sicilian. And but Neil wasn't Sicilian. Neil was Italian, and Albert Anastasia was Italian. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
True and false. There is a rift between Sicilians and Italians. Anybody that tells you otherwise is full of shit. There's always been a difference between us. But at the end of the day, the money rules. And, I mean, you look at all of the famous gangsters that were Italians. So to say that it's all Sicilian would be incorrect. But, yes, there is a difference. When I was a kid, we used to tease Sicilians all the time. So there is a difference.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I agree with him.
Well, originally back in the day, everybody was Sicilian, right? Up until I think late 20s.
I believe. Not correct. Not correct. Since the beginning of the country, both Italians and Sicilians were forming strongholds here. So, but Sicilians are very good at it because if you look at their history, they're born and bred Cosa Nostra from, everybody says from the 1800s, and that's incorrect. You got to go back to like maybe
16s or something, or even better.
1500s or the 1600s.
We go through it. Look at how the Boricuas from the island and the Boricuas from the States are treated with each other. You feel me? So it is what it is.
Yeah. It's the same thing. So let's with Tim Egan. What's up, Tim? He said Gotti would have been taking the biggest gamble of his life by hoping that Castallano would have just shelved him and break his crew up. That alone was reason enough to take Castallano out. Yeah. So we'll get to that. Well, that's really what the meat and potatoes of all this is about. If you highly believe that he was going to break your crew up and possibly kill some guys, maybe even you, or shelve you, because shelve is like killing you, right? Taking away all your.
I can say this. I'll make it quick. My opinion, Paul would have never shelved him. You can't shelve God. You can't shelve John J. Gotti. He would not allow it. You would have to kill him.
He was going to kill him.
Right.
You couldn't shelve him.
Right. But that was like Tim said, that was a gamble though, to see if he was going to shelve him or kill him. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing to Gotti, right? You shelved me. You're probably humiliating me and taking away everything I believed, and now I'm nothing. You know what I mean? The Genovese were ran by Napolitanos for a very long time. Barney is Sicilian. Yeah,
that's always been a part of that history and that culture since the inception. It's always been like that.
Right. So I was always under the impression, this was from what I read and what I always thought that it was Sicilians all the way up until the Castellamare War, right? Because everybody was Sicilian. Castellamare obviously is in Sicily, right? And everybody was recognized, everybody was known. So then they started bringing Italians in to do some of the dirty work, and then that's how they started pulling in as members.
Where was Costello from?
Who? Costello's from Italy. I think Calabrese.
Where was the Chin from?
The Chin is Italian. Genovese is Italian. Anastasia is Italian. Adonis is Italian too. But those guys were. But I don't. Yeah, those guys were working. Well, see, that was what the rift was coming to, because Maranzano believed that you had to be Sicilian, I believe, right? You couldn't be Jewish. He didn't want to deal with Italians. That's the impression I was on.
If the old timers had their way, you had to be related by blood.
Yep.
What's up?
Good evening.
Good evening. Who's this?
Good evening. Who's the Chinese guy in the bottom talking about Italians?
Mira, no sea tan mamado, tú sabes quién es, puñeta.
You fucking jerk off. What are you doing?
What's good?
I know it was you.
Oh man, you got me, man.
What's
You
good?
got me, but I
it
got
was
a
you.
little food. What's up?
What's going on? What's going on? What's good in the hood?
Chilling, man. Just chilling, and I figured you'd be in bed right now.
Hell nah, bro.
No?
I
Okay.
get to stay up a little today, bro. I got, they allow me to stay up a little while.
Oh, your wife?
I heard that Chinese guy talking. I said, let me jump on.
Probably Russian.
No, Russia's on the top. The Chinese guy's there. Fuck, shit.
Oh, okay. Okay. What's up? That's right. So yeah, I don't know. You've been hearing what we've been discussing so far. We're basically
it's been talked about 1,000 times, but we're hitting it from a different point.
Right. So we're talking about
chilling.
Yeah. Oh snap! What up? Yeah. So we're basically just talking about some different things on the situation leading up to the December 16, 1985 killing of Castallano. About
when the Russians whacked them.
Yeah. Talking about what could have happened. If they didn't make that move. Would he have been shelled and or killed along with his brother and them and Ruggiero and Carniglia? I don't think Carniglia was made yet, was he? I don't know about that. At that time, he might have got afterwards.
I think he came afterwards, but even with him, it didn't matter. Like, that's one thing about John. John's crew was fierce. Like, Johnny Carniglia was no joke. They talk about his brother. Nah, he was the one that was no joke. He was nothing to play with.
Yeah, Rapino, Tony Roach, he was a fool too. Eddie Lino was mean. Fucking Borriello, he was pretty. He has his history. And who else?
As a matter of fact,
listen,
and he gets a bad rap. And I want to say this, and this is from somebody that knew him. Quack gets a bad rap for always being on the audio and being talking and being out there and being himself and causing a lot of the stuff. But from what was told to me, and this is what I'll go by, and I always rock with it from the person. He said they can say what they want about him and how he was as far as the person that he was. He goes, but let them be clear. He was a gangster. He was a gangster to the end, and he carried it that way. He would never have cooperated or been like one of these fucking studios. He just took it.
Yep. Exactly. Remember that movie? That movie. He says, "And my brother Genie, they don't rap, they don't flip." I don't know if you guys remember that part. That movie.
Well, Gotti's life was hanging in the balance because you got to remember that Paul was in the commission case, and he was going on trial shortly after. So if Paul, and this is just my opinion, if Paul would have got convicted, which he would have, right? Yep. He would be doing 100 years with the rest of them.
Right.
Paul would have issued an order to kill Gotti. But now, once a boss goes to prison, I don't care what anybody tells you. They may hold on to the position, but their power weakens. So people on the street will not act the same, taking orders from a boss in prison. So Gotti might have survived, right? But for me, I think Gotti did what he had to do.
Yeah. That's what I think it boils down to at the end of the day, because like Tim Egan said, it was too big of a gamble, to wait to see what the outcome would be. You had to make a move. You had to make your move first.
Yeah, why chance it? Okay, even if the move failed, you're gonna die. You're gonna die anyway. The man's he's gonna kill you regardless because he's not gonna break the crew up, put you on a shelf. He's gonna have you whacked.
Well,
so
there's something that a lot of mobologists fuck up, and they say that Castallano was going to issue an order to kill Gotti. I would disagree with that. Leading up to the trial, the last thing Castallano wanted was another hit. So Castallano would have not issued an order to hit John until after he went to prison.
Yeah, I agree with that too. He didn't want that heat during that time. It was too much heat. He was already under, wasn't he? He was fighting two cases, wasn't he?
He was already indicted.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He was gonna go. Paul would have never seen the streets again, regardless. Even if he wouldn't have got killed, he would have never seen the streets again.
No.
Right. Yeah. Drito asked the question if Paul was going to get sunk in that commission case for sure. You're damn right. Everybody else did. They got 100 years. He was going. They had him on tape. He was on tape talking about the Concrete Club, talking about the commission, a lot of different things. Remember, they would go up to his house and meet with him, his main captains, you know, Nino and Jimmy Brown and
just on the RICO Act, they would have put him away for life. But what people don't remember is Paul was facing 5 homicides.
Right. Right, and then he was fighting the stolen car ring too, right? Remember with Roy DeMiro? That's why they killed Roy DeMiro, but he was still fighting that case too, I believe.
But the car case was superseding and got flipped over to a RICO case.
Right. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So
let me ask y'all something. What was the worst? Let's see if y'all guys know it. What was the worst thing about that whole situation with Paul when he got caught on the wire? What was the worst regret he had about that phone conversation?
About the
his
fucking
girlfriend.
peanut, the dick bump.
The dick bump. Yep.
Yeah.
That was the worst thing for him, bro.
Plus, he lost a lot of respect. A lot of guys lost respect for him for having that lady in his house like that, and
the
pretty
girlfriend.
much ordering his wife around. And then he was getting real greedy, man. He was becoming more greedy where he was demanding more money from everybody, and he was already a fucking multi-millionaire.
The greed was pissing the other bosses off as well, because it was unnecessary meetings about nonsense for a few $1,000s.
Right, and then this. He didn't even go to the fucking he didn't go to Neil's fucking wake or even visit him before he died or anything.
Yeah, but you got to remember too, back in them days, I'm pretty sure Agnostic and Carlos could remember that, but everything changed when Paul took over. Paul was trying to go into how can I explain it? Into a legit type mob type thing. Yeah, he wanted to legitimize his crews and this and this and that to make more money, but you had them old school cats that were, they were still with that old school mentality. They didn't want to deal with that bullshit.
No, and you got to remember something. Nelson, I was 15 when Paul got hit. I was 15, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about a 15-year-old kid. I was a 15-year-old kid hearing that he was a greedy cocksucker.
Yeah, bro. It is. I think everybody heard that.
So if I'm hearing it as a 15-year-old kid, what do you think his crew thought of him?
Bro. Listen, when that man was when he started charging people, for all kind of shit, them people were mad. You got your little street hustle going and you got to pay up a little bit more every freaking other week. Oh, hell no.
Yeah. Yeah. He what's them things they say? He only, he eats alone. You know what I mean? He got real greedy. And it wasn't like he was hurting, man. He had a ton of money. Fucking crazy with legitimate businesses, so it wasn't like they were gonna take
when your own guys say, "Yo, we got to go to the White House," something's wrong.
Yeah.
Now I wasn't there, and I didn't. I was no part of it. I was only a kid, but I heard that when Gotti took over, when the captains were coming to give him tribute, he would open up the envelopes and take like a quarter of the money out, put it in his pocket, and hand the envelopes back. And that right there got him a lot of respect.
Yeah, taking that little cut out of it, man. But see, in the whole scheme of things, man, it still would have been an issue. Paul would have went in, but you already know the Chin wasn't having it, bro. The Chin wanted that man gone.
Yeah, I don't think Chin would have stopped trying to go at it, because Chin was, but Don was who he was, man. And they can say what he wanted about being a boss, but people talk about him for the next 100 years.
Well, since you brought that up, now okay. So he was, when he told him, "Oh, Chin, I made my son." He said, "Oh, I feel sorry for him," or whatever he said, right? Something like that.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. So you think that when some guys were upset with John because he was too flashy, too much in the media, But what about walking around acting like you're slobbering on yourself and you're incoherent, you can't talk, and you know, I mean, it worked for him, but I mean, I'm just saying that. How's that look?
Yeah, a lot of guys on the West Side were upset about that.
Yeah, because you look at it that way. I mean, this is a guy who's a made guy. He's been through it all. He's done all. I mean, shit. He's the one that tried to shoot what's his name in the head. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So,
Costello.
Yep, they see him like that. They're like, man, this fool. Look what he's representing, man. He's making himself look like a fucking punk, you know. And that was his thing, though. You know, he wanted to get over on the system doing that, but. Yo, if you're gonna do something like that, you got to do it all the way. You can't be that in the middle of the morning and freaking the afternoon. Then at night, go out with your tuxedo and your jewelry to go see the Guman.
Hey,
yeah, underneath the rope.
Tim was the fucking man. I don't give a fuck. Tim was the fucking man.
Chin, yo, you got to give it to him, bro. You gotta give it to him.
Hey, Chin was legendary, but I personally believe that if Gotti didn't get knocked, I think a year or two later, after that time period, Gotti would have tried to clip him.
He probably would have went to war with him, but Chin was a force. And see, what made Chin a force is that Chin stuck to the rules. Like, you could be in his crew. He could have known you 20 years. And if you messed up to the point where it came down where you had to go, you was going to go. There was not even a second. There wasn't a second hesitation. There was none of that. Oh, we know each other. There was none of that. He didn't play.
Yeah, but Carlos, being the son of somebody, believe me when I tell you, that's not a good feeling. One thing that John was known for, if you look at John's history, the only guys he killed in his family was because of Sammy. Other than that, John was willing to ride and die with his crew. Now you got to remember something. When that's your boss, and you know that if they give him an order to kill you, he will kill them. That carries a lot of weight.
Oh yeah, but it's one of the reasons why a lot didn't want to move on him, and he knew this, and he would get mad at his own guys. Trust me, I'm a big John Gotti fan. My mentor was super close to him, and I understood the man that he was. I don't praise the stuff he's done in his lifetime, but as far as a man, he's aces with me.
But let me say this now, because we're talking about the Chin. So the Chin says, "Oh, sorry to hear that about John Jr., right? Being put on." But look what happened to him at the end. He has to admit what he was doing, fooling the government, or his son was going to get taken in, right? His son was involved, coming back and forth with order messages, or however you want to state it. And then it came to the point where he had to admit that he'd been faking this all along, so that his family didn't get indicted, right? Or charged.
And now,
right?
according to the rules, he broke omerta. That's a fact.
Yeah, it is.
Right. Well, we have a few of them that's done that, right? Carmine represented himself, and he admitted to being a member. He didn't admit to being a boss, but he admitted to being a member. Alley Boy did the same. Alley Boy did the same. Tony Pep, Danny Marino. There's a few of them, right? And that's probably just. There's probably a lot more. Those are the ones I know of. I guess
according to the old rules, you can't allocute. You're not allowed to allocute. You have to remain silent through the entire process. That's the rule.
Right. Yeah. And the perfect one that was an example of holding to the rules was Joe Piney Armani when he went to court. That judge told him, "I will let you stay home for the holidays if you allocute and say who you are and what you're part of." And as soon as that judge said that, his wife started crying out loud because she knew that he was not going to admit to nothing. And he was taken in, and he ended up dying in there.
Well, that was absolutely, but
what about?
And that was an absolute rule by John J. Gotti. Nobody.
What about John Gotti?
Carniglia and his brother Gene. They were offered a 10-year plea. They couldn't plead. They took 50.
Right. And did almost 30 on it. You know,
Yeah,
just
but
got home.
if you notice, those are old school cats. You know what I'm saying? They took that oath to heart, man. They did what they had, you know, regardless of what they did in life. They took that shit, I mean, to heart. They didn't fold. They didn't say, nah, I didn't do this. They took it to heart.
Right. Yes, and when Gotti took over, if he had went low key like the Chin, we would still be talking about him today. He would have been 83 years old, and we would be talking about, is he really the boss?
Yeah. It is what it is, bro. Listen, it's like I say, people could talk whatever they want about the guy, but us being from New York and seeing that era, you know what I mean? To us, those are guys that we wanted to emulate them when we grew up because we seen the respect and the money they were making. You know what I'm saying? Now that we're older, yeah, we see things in a different light. But hey, like they say, man, you take your job serious, right?
Yeah, but
that's what they did. They took their job serious.
It was different with him because even people, civilians to this day, can look at him and see and say, he's a boss. It was who he was. There wasn't no front, and so that's why he didn't have to duck. He didn't have to hide. It's kind of like a bucket list. If we all had a bucket list, the doctor tells us tomorrow, you guys got a year to live. You got to do certain things. You're gonna be okay with death, and you're gonna go do everything. He was okay with death. This is who I am. I'm gonna look good doing it, and let them come get me.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. That's yeah. And there's no way, like we mentioned this. I don't think you jumped on yet, Carlos. But we mentioned that, you know, he gets the rap that he brought it down, you know, from being too flamboyant out in the media and with the tapes and all that. But everybody was caught on the generation before that. The commission case, they were all on the tape, all of them, right? And then you had the Colombo's third war. They were there. I think it was 14 bodies, I believe, that were dead, left on the streets. You had the Lucchese, Casso, and them were killing all kinds of people because they were having dreams that they were telling, so they kill them. And then you had Scarfo up in Philly were killing people. They were trying to tax all the illegal activity in that area at that time. You know, pagans, gang members, dope dealers. They were trying to hit them all. You know, and violence became of it, right? So to say that, he single-handedly brought it down is ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Nah, bro. Listen, you had too many people dropping
absurd.
Dimes and doing shit like that, bro.
Tim Egan says that it was 15% under Castallano. That's incorrect. It was 25%.
What was it under Gambino? 15, 20, 10?
Under Gambino, it was 10%. And then Gotti made it 10%, but he used to take less.
Yeah.
Bro, come on now. Look at this shit now, bro. Motherfuckers' house shakes, fucking pictures move off the wall, talk about go rack. Come on now. What the fuck is this world coming?
Why? Oh, whoa. You don't believe it?
Whoa.
Not even with a case.
You don't believe it?
He goes and tells on himself, and everything that he pled to was stuff that he admitted to doing, not that he was caught. That's crazy. I've never heard no shit like that.
Bro, listen.
No, that's
the spirits, bro. Those spirits are beat.
That's a wrong word. It's not crazy. It's stupid.
Yeah,
no, it's crack.
That's what I mean by crazy, stupid. That's what I mean. That's what that means when I mean say that. But yeah, that's unbelievable. And then now he's bad mouthing everybody, coming on here talking about business people.
His whole
he's talking
story. Yeah, his whole story was Fugazi from the beginning. His whole story was garbage.
Right.
Like I said, bro, once I heard that story about my house shook, I had to kneel down and everything was shaking, bro. That was a poltergeist. That was that good perico. That's what that was.
And then pick your daughter up.
It was for hours too. He said it was for hours, like 6-8 hours,
bro. That was that straight fish killer.
I see dead people.
I see dead people. Oh, fuck that shit.
No, that was fish scale.
That was that fish scale, bro.
Fish scale.
That's insane, man. That's
Yo, Nelson. That was fish scale with the Wendy's straw.
Yep, there you go. There you go. That motherfucker probably used a freaking a toilet paper roll.
Wow.
A
Perico,
fucking
huh?
garden hose.
Perico, fucking man, that's crazy.
Bro. Listen, bro.
But
So many people did crazy shit.
Sad? You know what's sad? You look at how many people like subscribe to that idiot and believe that horse shit. Like the whole story from the beginning. He fell in love with a girl that bragged about cheating on her husband and getting away with it for years. Right? This very same girl, a captain comes in and wants to give up his whole deal to be with this fucking putana. If it's true, which I don't believe. But if it's true, a captain is going to order one of his guys clipped so he can get the putana, who's a known putana, right? And he's going to hire the Bloods to fucking do it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that right there, that's fucking nuts, man. That's fucking nuts.
Now, and I've said this before. I know Big John. I know Spanky. I know Bubsy. I know most of the guys he slandered. And I'm not saying it because I know them. Let's say I never met them. How could you look at this story and believe it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's and then ain't supposedly that lady that putana's with another dude now, right?
Yeah.
According to him, he's with another wise guy.
Yeah, she found a guy that don't know how to use tracking devices.
Holy shit.
That's how I got cool with Tom. I used to give Panisi the business in the comments section.
Yeah, you just gotta see, man. Like I said, you got so many people coming on YouTube, bro, with these stories, and it's like, damn, you know, people are gullible enough to believe it. It's all good though.
Yeah, now you got the other dude now. He's supposed to be making a channel. I heard him come on Tom's the other day. Erolata, wasn't it? Yeah, Erolata. I guess he's making a channel now.
Oh, the pedophile? The pedophile.
Anthony
Well, I
don't
know. Listen, I don't know. I don't know if you would call him a pedophile, but a 24-year-old guy fucking a 14-year-old girl? I don't know.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird.
And it's proven it's proven she got pregnant when she was 16, right? And her whole family says that he was with her 2 years before she got pregnant. So what's the deal?
Wow.
That's a heavy bone. That's a heavy label. Yeah. I don't know the ins and outs on that one.
Yeah.
No, Carlos. I'm with you, brother. Don't call nobody a rat and don't call nobody a fucking pedophile unless you know the facts.
Yep.
The facts are he was 24 and she was 14. That's an established fact. Wow. So anybody that wants to challenge me, feel free.
We got to keep it real on that one, bro. 14, your daughter's 14 and some 24-year-old dude, bro. Listen, I don't care if you're a damn gangster. I don't care if you're a freaking reverend. I don't give a fuck what you are. You getting it.
That's a no-no.
For real.
Yeah, nah.
Getting it.
And if you were that important on the streets,
yep,
I would make it where you just disappeared, brother. You know?
That's the way it is. Back in them days, bro, I mean, it is what it is. You had some old school guys that, you know, they went into life and shit like that. They did their dirt, but yo, God forbid you fucked with their family, bro. Oh, hell no. Or any kids from the neighborhood.
Yep.
They stepped in, you know.
Well, like I said, the dude is a confirmed pedophile, and now he's gonna come on YouTube, and people are gonna fucking talk about how interesting he is.
Oh,
I've been quiet on because I felt like I said it so much, but you know what I mean. I ain't never gonna be cool with any government cooperating with it. Any. Period. It'll never change. There might be some that I'll actually listen to, but.
But just look at this guy's character. He sent two guys to go do a hit. They did the hit, and then he ratted on them.
That's some shit.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah, and it was stupid. If you look at him, this guy supposedly was already doing big things, making a lot of money. I don't even know why he even went that way. You know what I mean? What's up, Chepe? C-Dog.
What's up, C-Dog?
Look at what Gravano did to my friend, right? Well, not to my friend, to my friend's father, right? My friend's father hid him out when he was on the lam, supposedly, allegedly, out in Margate, New Jersey. Joe had a condo, right? So Joe said, "You're on the lam, go to my condo," because the condo is owned by somebody that could never be traced. So Sammy hid out there. Sammy comes back and rats Joe out.
Yep.
And rats him out. And then he comes on fucking YouTube talking about Joe Francolino was a good guy. Yo, Joe Francolino was a great guy. Why did you fucking rat him out?
Yeah, but look at the guy he put away, his boy. He put his boy away, bro. And then you're going to try to play that fucking role talking about, I'm trying to get him out of jail. Motherfucker, please.
Oh, listen. That one there was probably the most despicable display. When Frankie Locascio passed away, this clown did a show talking about, I wish my brother would have ratted and been out in the street and died in the streets like me. And this my brother. Shout out to my brother. You could have got that man out a long time ago. And you're gonna go stand there with this my brother, you piece of crap.
Hey, I gotta defend Sammy the snitch on this one. Didn't he say in a video that Frankie Loke was innocent and he was trying to get him out 20 years after he got convicted? He did.
Fucking
dirtbag. 20 years, bro. That's
scumbag.
Bro. That shit right there. That's like, wow. But it just comes to show you, man, how treacherous that shit is. You know what I mean? You got guys that, hey, they do their thing, but then you got the ones that do that. You know what I'm saying? They try to make themselves look good. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to help this guy out after you put him away. Get the fuck out of here.
And that's another thing. He always says that he never was, that the FBI from all wiretaps and whatever they've been, they were able to get intel from, that they never heard nothing bad about Sammy when it comes to business. Come on, man.
Why did they lock him up? Why did they arrest him?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, why was he wearing handcuffs in that famous photo?
With the leather jacket? That one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, watch that video. Look at his eyes. That's like a deer in the headlights. I looked at that video real time on New York Eyewitness News, and I said, this guy is gonna fucking tell on everybody. He's scared to death. You can see it in his eyes. He was scared.
Yeah, but according to him, he was fighting murders all his life, and he was doing time all his life.
That bitch was scared of death. You could see it in his eyes. He was scared of death, blinking and the whole shit.
Yep. I know what you're talking about.
That guy's got followers. That guy has followers that actually believe his bullshit. If you look at his whole story, it's the same thing over and over. He would sneak guys and kill them to take their businesses. He talks about the Frankie Fiala, right? The guy that was going to buy his club. Well, he threatened him. There was nobody that could verify that, right? What he did was he took $200,000 cash from the guy and then clipped him. That's what he did. That's what Sammy did. Sammy killed his secretary's brother and then went and had breakfast with her the next morning. He killed his brother-in-law and went home and slept next to his sister. That's what Sammy is.
Oh yeah, I call him the king rat. He's the worst of the worst.
Wolf A1 Day One. It's Sammy. He was 16. His name was Alan Kaiser.
Rest in peace to Alan Kaiser.
Yes.
Joy Faraci, the Faraci family.
Yep. Yeah, and he blamed it on Louis Melito. Louis Melito is dead. Ooh, that's another one of his victims, and he blames that on him. And the kid was shot in the back. Shot in the back.
Yeah, but under his profit session, didn't he say, because he was afraid, because if you get caught lying, they could rip the deal up. So under the profit session, he said that he killed Alan Kaiser.
Yeah. They took that out because they didn't want to have it. They wanted to make it look a lot more juicy for him. This is why the Faraci family's outraged. The government held back all his fucking lies.
Right. Yeah, the Faraci family, which is his sister and brother-in-law, nephews and nieces. So anybody that don't know, yeah, I didn't know that. So yeah,
and
so now
look at what and look at what he's doing now. Look at what he's doing now, right? Everything, his stupid podcasts and everything is through Deborah's Way Productions. It's through his ex-wife, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So they can't get the money that they're due. He's a scumbag.
Yep. Yeah, and then they made that. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but through her company, they made that show. I don't know if it's a series or a little mini series or a movie about this guy, and he plays the main character, And then you got the daughter over there running her mouth like she fucking knows, like she was there on the sit downs and fucking,
but the children, the children all do that now. The children know everything about their daddies.
Let me tell you something. When I was a kid, right, Gerard, when my brother beat up Gerard, my brother beat the dog piss out of fucking Gerard, right? That's a stone cold fact. He was a punk. When you see him on documentaries now, he might have changed because he went away. When he went to prison, they might have taken any manhood away from him because now he talks like a real gentleman, right? But let me tell you something. When I was a kid, Gerard Gravano was a fucking loudmouth punk, right? My brother beat the shit out of him, and I was proud of my brother for doing it. Karen used to hang out in Heartland Village with the New Springville boys. Lee, Anthony, Mike, Jimmy R., Frankie Botts Jr., but he wasn't related to the original Frankie Botts, right? All these kids used to brag about getting blowjobs from Karen because you got to imagine, you're getting a blowjob from Sammy's daughter. So she was like a prize fucking pig. That's the truth about Karen Gravano. So when she tells these stories, I used to walk around and I was Sammy's daughter. She was fucking known as a blowjob. That's the truth.
Wow. Man, can you imagine that? Having your daughter running around like that loose?
Yep.
Oh, man.
But I will say this. He can make all the movies he wants, all the podcasts, go on all these other shows and do everything. At the end of the day, your legacy, Sammy Gravano, will be the king rat. You're the most known rat. Not most known monster, most known rat in history. No matter what you do, you can never change that.
Nelson, you still there? Nelson,
wake up.
No, because I keep getting an alert like here, like somebody's in the background, and then I look and it's two of him. But let me see. Oh, Nelson.
Now there's
something. Okay, so let me take this one off. You there?
You got me?
Okay,
cool. Got me?
Yeah, I was back there trying to figure that out. Okay, my bad.
Nelson.
You.
Thank you for showing up, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, hell, man. I seen the guy down there. I was like, the Chinese guy's here. I'm jumping on.
That was cool. Here's a question. How much of the government tearing up the agreement with Casso do you guys think had to do with covering for Gravano and his testimony?
50%.
Everything.
Yep. The whole 9 yards, bro. He would have made Sammy look like a fucking bro. They would have threw his case out, bro. For real.
From my understanding, and this was in the book, and I also researched, and it's showing up on multiple sources that they say that, but there are 3-letter organizations that are have certain corrupt employees, and that was also going to be let out there, and they're not having that.
Nah, bro.
Yeah, I believe. I mean, besides the other shit they say he was doing, didn't they say he smuggled in a clothes to escape, and then I think he got caught up having another guard bringing some wine or something too.
Castro was a nut. but he was eccentric and he was a boss. So he wanted to be treated like a boss. He wanted to eat the best stuff, get the best stuff inside, tell other dudes what they need to do, what they can't do. So yeah, dudes are like, fuck that. And supposedly another big time informant snitched them all out, got his ass in trouble multiple times. He also took a beating in there, so you know how it goes.
Right.
Yup.
Right. So yeah, a lot of that had to do.
If you watch Sammy Gravano's podcast, he'll let you know that he would never deal drugs.
Yeah.
But I guess that changed in Arizona.
Yeah. That changed big time.
It was something fresh.
Agnostic is a motherfucker, but that's the funny part. That's just one of the reasons why they shot down Castle, because he tried to tell them, listen, I've been dealing with this man boatloads of weed and boatloads of pills, and they're like, oh hell no.
Yeah, that's back when they used to use the shrimp boats, right? The shrimp boats, and they used to bring the shit up. Yep. I think Florida, or maybe even Dominican Republic. I'm not sure exactly where it was coming from, but
Sammy's all about money, man. Sammy was making money, making friends, and killing partners. That was Sammy's whole thing.
Yeah, but remember this, bro. When you got a man like that that's on the stand, you want the jury to believe the shit he's saying. So now, if they come in and they say, oh, this guy, he killed a 16-year-old kid, and this guy was moving narcotics, doing this and this and that, blah, blah, blah. They just threw that wrench in the heads of them jurors. You know what I'm saying? So now it wouldn't have been that strike, that home run they got. So they just put that shit under the bed like, we ain't bringing that shit out.
Yeah, so here you go. We're going to rip this up, and we're going to go ahead and give you 499 years plus 12 life sentences.
Yeah. Hey,
and I say that's what you
like
get.
I said, this latest asshole to ruin his fucking legacy is this Tommy Dades. Now, Jimmy and Frankie ran through my neighborhood, Heidel, right? Both of them were pretty cool. And they used to hang out with the kid, Jamie Stupinski. Jamie Stupinski got clipped. And Mike DeBella, this new fucking clown, talks about the guy that okayed the hit. So this is a small world where I come from. But at any rate, I used to think that Tommy Dades, I never met Tommy. Like, all the times that OC pulled me in, I never met Tommy Dades. But I heard about him. And he had a pretty good reputation. Because
let's tell everybody who Tommy Dades is, in case the people watching in the chat don't know. Tommy Dades is now a retired NYPD detective, but he worked hand in hand with the OC squad and some FBI at different times.
And he was part of the task force that took down Stephen Caracappa and Lou Ippolito. They're the guys that killed the kid that I ran with, which was Jimmy Heidel. Right.
And those two guys, for people that don't know, Caracappa and Ippolito were NYPD detectives that were working for Stephen Kaplan and then later Anthony Gaspipe Castle, and was killing people for them.
Yes, absolutely. So in the neighborhood back home, we always kind of thought of Tommy Dades as like a good guy. You know what I mean? He was part of the team that busted these two fucking scumbags, right? Well, now it turns out that he's a scumbag.
Yeah, they've said different things about well, I mean, just when you come on here and you try to justify somebody being a good guy because he helped put away some other guys, when this guy, this guy's involved with 3 murders he has under his belt, but because this other guy has 5 murders he's been involved with, this guy's justifying it that this guy's better because he has only 3 murders. Come on, man, it's fucking ridiculous.
Listen,
I'll
say this. Me and my brother know somebody that actually knows the Tommy Dades story, but that never get out there. But as far as Tommy Dades, listen, at the end of the day, you can't be involved in so much street stuff as far as that lifestyle, been a part of so many investigations and so much stuff and not got your hands dirty.
Hell no, you already know that.
Right. Yeah, he's been involved with a few high-profile, big-name dudes. You know what I mean? I can't think of them all, but the mob cops alone is huge. Huh?
I says, I got to jump ship, man. It's a pleasure coming on, my brothers.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Good to have the 3 of us back on. Be easy, my brother.
Yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Hey,
Nelson,
Chinese man, I'm gonna put in my Chinese order.
Nelson.
Yo.
Nice of you to stop by. Hopefully we'll hear from you in what, another month?
Yeah. You know, I gotta hide, bro. I'm in hiding.
Yeah.
Come on now. Stop blowing my spot.
All right, just don't, hey, Nelson, don't let that Chicago muscle find you.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
No, I'm not putting a bone on that man, but there's just some things that make you go home.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to remember. Oh, so real quick, Bella and friends, are you sick? I'm too. I've been coughing really bad too. And then also I've been sick for 2 days.
If she's talking about me, yes.
Probably you and Carlos, I guess. You guys are both
coughing. I gotta stop. I had stopped smoking on lies for a while, but now I've just been smoking on the lies, and I'm a cougher. So it sounds like I'm dying over here, but it's just I'm smoking that fire.
I think I got the herpes simplex 10.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, I got that fire. That's what I got.
Oh shit! I'm trying to think. Tommy Dates. What other cases was he involved in? I know I've heard him speak about Wild Bill Catolo, having him. He brought down to the station, the precinct, and him being always been a gentleman, real respectful to the cops. I heard him talk about that.
He did a lot. See, with him and he did it. He was in the right place at the right time. He did a lot of PAL stuff. So when you start doing neighborhood organizations like that, you get around young kids, you know what I'm saying? And even the gangsters see shit like that, and they can respect stuff like that. But he knew a lot of stuff was going on, and he had some close cases. Shit, he was one of the ones that arrested the kid Papa. Papa was no joke.
I was just gonna say that one right now. Yeah, Papa, the son, Jerry Papa,
yeah,
what's his son's name?
John.
Yeah,
Papa, yeah.
John Papa.
He was involved with that. Yeah, and he had he had a few murders under his belt, didn't he?
He just went kill crazy.
Yeah, and let me tell you something about John Papa. Jimmy fucking bullshit artist Calamandria there goes on and talks about they slapped John Papa and he ran. That's a straight up fucking lie. John Papa would have killed fucking Jimmy in a minute.
Yeah.
Papa ain't running. If you know, like if you've been through the system and they make you take your shit off, everybody knows they do the pictures. The picture he put on in one of those books shows his tattoo on his back. You can look at the kid and you know the kid is 200 flat. Easy. You feel me? So yeah, you gonna scrap. Yo, I don't got that kid running. That kid was doing some wild ass shit. I ain't got him running.
I knew Johnny personally. That was a bullshit story.
Yeah, I figured that. I already got that dude running. That dude, from what I heard, he was making noise over there. I was in the low. He was in the meat in the pen, and they were talking about he making noise over there, putting hands on people.
In the USP?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, he won no pump.
Yeah. Well, see the cop, and then when it comes to Tommy Dade, he's always gonna speak highly of somebody that fucking flipped. Especially in his case. When it has a case to do with him, you know what I mean. So he's gonna put this guy on a pedestal, and and give him praise, and then this guy's gonna eat it and do what he does.
Well, I had a bad taste for Tommy when he sided up with Jimmy, number one. But then I saw a video where, and you can go research this, where Tommy is sitting there like as if he's talking or telling what he believes, and what he was saying was verbatim from Sammy Gravano. Literally, you can go research this. Word for word, exactly what Sammy Gravano said. It was creepy. I was like, dude, you're not even speaking for yourself. You're saying exactly what Sammy said.
No, you're right. You're 100% right. I've heard that too, but you get that. See, that's what people tend to forget. Most of these government cooperating witnesses, they go pro police. I'll say this. I'm not pro police. I am pro police. Law enforcement has a job to do. Do I love cops? No. But they have a job to do. I don't have nothing against law enforcement. But all these government cooperating witnesses, they
No,
go
me
pro
neither.
police. That's why he knows all their stories. They all call each other. They all touch. All A-Light, John A-Light, all of them. They all friends. They all talk to each other.
Let me ask this: Do you guys believe that the name when Sammy goes by the name the Bull, Sammy the Bull, was it because of that story he tells about the bike when he was a little kid, or is it because he was from Bull's Head, what is it called, Bull's Head, Long Island, or Bull's Head, Staten Island?
No,
is that what
that would definitely be incorrect because Sammy moved to Bull's Head. Sammy's originally from Bath Beach, so
right.
Sammy moved to Bull's Head when he bought the house there on Lambert's Lane. Right? I mean, I can tell you exactly where the house is, but so no, that would be incorrect. As far as is it true, I couldn't tell you.
So you know for a fact that
but
he's
it's
already
not
being
Bull's Head,
Sammy.
but it's not for Bull's Head, Staten Island.
Well, you know that he was being called Sammy the Bull before he moved there.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so that can't be true then. That can't be true.
No, it's not true.
So, but like you're saying, you still don't know if it's really true that a wise guy seen him at 12 going at 2 kids that stole his bike.
No, I don't know that.
Right. Because you figure that was back in what? He's born in the 40s. You're talking mid 50s, late 50s. This was.
Yeah.
57.
I was born in 69.
Right. So you weren't even. Yeah. So you were 11 years in the thought process. Or 11 years.
That's his version. It ain't like like we got the kid that stole the bike to say differently.
Right. Or the so-called wise guy that was there. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And about 5 years after he got the nickname, my father must have been looking at my mother going, "Who's this little slut?"
Yeah. So yeah. So basically, so back to the original topic. We're all pretty much in agreement that Gotti had to do what he had to do. You know what I mean? You can't just sit there, sit there like a sitting duck and hope that you end up passing with flying colors or whatever. You know what I mean?
No.
You have older timers that looked at him that were in there, like say Capos in that family and everything. They already would say that he was going to eventually be the next boss. So when stuff went that it was all timing period. You know, it is what it was. Paul wasn't really like, but at the end of the day, rules were broken, and you also know on the other side of 10 might not even like Paul. It was good money coming in, but 10 is about them rules, and he was just like, all right. And then Castle don't give a fuck. Castle's a nutcase. Said I'll put myself in the mix.
But they had a lot of. I mean, if it's like the way the movie says that, they outside after leaving the White House, which is for people that don't know, that's Paul Castallano's house on Todd Hill in Staten Island. That's Chico Di Bernardo and who was the other one? Sammy the Bull all discussed, that he was being tight and and that John Gotti shouldn't be whacked. That's not really how it played out. I don't believe that was just a movie.
A lot of this, like even the HBO Gotti, that's my favorite. I love that. I watched that in there. Yeah,
I watched it yesterday.
It was. Now was it like people like say true to life? No, it was. They took a lot of liberties, but it was a great cast. It was a great movie. I think it was a magnificent performance by a few actors, and I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie, not a fan of the new Gotti. Not in the least. I thought the acting was below grade. I thought it was just it could have been more true to fact, but I didn't dig it.
You talking about the Travolta one?
Yeah. I
haven't got to watch it all. I just got to the point where he goes out for a furlough to the dentist and he goes and whacks somebody or something like that. That's the only part I got up to, and I fell asleep and I never went back to watch it again.
I can tell you what I heard as a kid from my uncles and my father, and that was that Frankie DeChico. All right, Sammy and Frankie, you got to remember something. Sammy and Frankie were part of the Brooklyn faction, right? Which was Paul Castallano. All right.
Correct.
John Gotti, all of this shit started, and Frankie DeChico was making comments about it might be good to see Paul go, because you got to remember, Paul was strangling everybody. He was strangling people, and then he was. Now, this is just what I heard. I wasn't part of it. I wasn't there personally. But this is what I heard, that Paul was shutting down a lot of rackets, like telling guys, you can't do this anymore. Not just drugs, but he was taking drug money at the same time. So a lot of his captains were starting to get disgruntled with him. Now, Frankie DeChico, he was a powerhouse. He had mob lineage. He was well-liked by everybody. All 5 families liked Frankie, right? Yep. And Frankie started talking in a negative way about Paul. Now, it's my take that Sammy grew up around Frankie. So Sammy saw this, and when John Gotti was put on the order that he was going to get clipped, and he already knew who John Gotti was. John Gotti was already known. His style was already known. His crew was already known. I believe personally that Sammy, being Sammy, said, I think John Gotti's going to win this one. Fuck Paul. And I think that's what happened. So when I love when he tells the story and he leaves that whole section out. Like, well, Paul was going to kill John and his whole crew. And I sided with John. But you didn't even know John that well. But you were with Paul for years. But you leave that part out. So Sammy saw an advantage, and he took it.
Well, he has mentioned that he lost a lot of respect for him, and a lot of the guys were talking about it too, about him having that maid and the way she was treating the wife in her own house. You know, as far as he made it sound like she was giving the wife orders. Nina, I think her name was Nina. She was giving her orders, and the way Paul was doing that with that relationship right underneath his wife's nose, they lost a lot of respect for him. And then he was being greedy, and he was doing the things you just mentioned. But another thing is this: John Gotti was from Brooklyn, right? John Gotti's born in the Bronx, but then he was raised in Brooklyn, right? I believe he knows.
East New York, and Ozone Park. So he was kind of on the border. But when Gotti got made, he was from Howard Beach, Queens.
Right, but I believe. What I was getting to was that I believe that he knew the Chicos too when he was a youngster. At least, well, I mean, I heard one of Frankie.
Oh, yeah, they all knew each other since they were young. Since they were fucking in the street.
From East New York, from Brooklyn, which is East New York is, I guess, what, borderline, close to borderline, I guess, with Queens.
Right.
Wasn't Castallano taking?
But Lou, you gotta remember, like when I tell you stories about the Bath Avenue crew, right? I knew them.
Yeah.
But I wasn't from Bath Beach. So these kids hung out with each other every day. I might see them once in a month, once every 3 months. You follow? Yeah. So that was the same for John Gotti.
Right. Because wasn't the Rock Carmine Fatico, Bergin and Hunt, the social club originally was in Brooklyn, wasn't it? And then they moved it to Manhattan?
No, Queens, and Manhattan was the Ravenite.
Yeah, my bad. Queens. They moved from Brooklyn to Queens.
Yes.
Fatico and the brother moved it. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, Ravenite was in Manhattan.
Tim Egan has a good question, and the answer is yes.
Yep. Patsy Conti, Butch, Joe Butch Carraro, Roy DeMeo was pushing dope, and
Gambinos.
The Gambinos,
the Cherry Hill
the Cherry Hill,
yeah,
Cherry Hill Gambino, and then I don't know how if Joe Piney had a conviction back in the day. I don't know if he was still involved, but he was at one time.
That's what's funny about it, the hypocrisy when it goes to that. All of them have been major factors, and they know that. It's a simple rule. You get caught, we don't know nothing, and you're gone. It's just like that. It is, I do that at your own risk. But yeah, all families indulge in that shit.
Yeah, you know another thing too. When John took over, Sammy has said that he had to go around. I believe him and the Chico had to go around to find out what the other skippers were involved in, because he wasn't aware of the rackets and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Sammy says that to belittle John, and I'll be honest with you, a captain in a family of that size is not going to know what all the other captains are doing.
Exactly.
So it's not an insult. And another thing you said, Lou, you mentioned Joe Butch. I would love for somebody like this kid, Jeff Canarsie, to do a story on Frankie Butch. Frankie Butch, in my heart, he's legendary. But it's funny because if he ever does a story on Frankie Butch and puts all the photos up, I'm going to be doxxed because you're going to see me standing next to him. But Frankie Butch.
Is that Joe's brother or his son?
Cousin. But you ready for this? Talk about a real gangster. Frankie did time back in, I want to say the 50s. They had the food ration stamps, not food stamps, but the food rations. Him and Carlo counterfeited. They were counterfeiting them. He got caught for that. He got caught in 89. He did 2 years. In 90, I want to say 96, 97, he did 18 months on a violation. Other than that, that was all the time Frankie ever did. He passed away. So I could talk about him. Frankie was legendary. Typical example of what Cosa Nostra is supposed to be. You never heard of him? He was respected throughout entire New York. I would say the East Coast. Now, what made him interesting was he was Paul's first cousin, right? He was also Carlo's first cousin, right?
Yeah,
through a different angle.
Okay,
right. Yeah. But he was first cousins to both of them, but from a different angle. His wife, Frankie's wife, was also his first cousin.
Right. So that's how. Yeah. So Carlo and Paul is first cousins, and then they're also brother-in-laws because Carlo married Paul's. I believe it's Paul's sister.
Okay, and then Frankie married Jeannie, who was a sweetheart. I loved her, but she was Frankie's first cousin.
So that's a Sicilian thing, I think.
Yeah, they were Sicilians. Yeah. But I used to joke around with the old man. I used to tell him, other than you being Sicilian, I like everything about you. And he used to fucking smack me.
Right. So, did you ever, I forgot who said this. I don't remember where I even heard it. I heard this recently. Something about Jimmy Brown Fiala made a comment to J.Gotti that they have to stick together as Sicilians now because of the Napoli Don. Maybe not Napoli Don, but he mentioned one of the Italian Calabrese or something. But I'm pretty sure it was Napoli Don. And then John didn't respond and say nothing. But then later he went and seen him at the Veterans and Friends Club, and he told him, "Hey, I'm Napoli Don." So he
yeah.
I don't know if you guys heard that, but yeah, that's a trip. So so there's always been that I don't know if that's the only time I ever heard of it because the Sicilian thing, because the Genovese, like we mentioned earlier, most of the bosses were Italian, and they I don't think they didn't have no zips imported. I don't believe like the Bonanos and the Gambinos did. So
zips. When we say zips, we're only referring, right? When we say greaseball, that's Italian, right? Or we say Dago, that means you're from Italy, from the other side.
A
zip. Yes, correct. Yes.
Right. Which the Bonanos had a lot during the 80s, right? Baldo Amato and George from Canada.
Yes.
There's a couple more other ones. I don't know. Were they the bodyguards to Galante at the time? I think one or two of them were.
Yeah. Yes, they were.
Yeah. When they got him at, Joe and Mary's restaurant? That was July 12th. I think it was July 12th, 1979. I was almost going to be a year old.
I'll tell you, you're amazing. A kid from California's got to educate me.
Oh, but the dates not lose good with the stats, yeah. But see, that's another thing. That's how that commission works.
Dude, he reminds me of shit.
He's spot on with the date.
No, but I mean, but with us talking, you let me know when you believe that I'm not correct or what I read is not correct. So it goes both ways. I appreciate it. You know what I mean?
No
yeah,
doubt.
but it's funny that I grew up in it, and I got to ask Lou, like, Lou, were they cousins?
Well, you know what the thing of that is because even though we don't have where I'm from, we don't have. Well, we did at one time. They were here. You know, San Jose, San Francisco. The Bananos were over here. The Bananos been to San Quentin. Bill and his brother. Yeah, they both been to San Quentin, and then they were doing something also with a car dealership that was in the same county I live in Lodi. And that this guy ended up ratting on them though. I don't know if it was Joe himself or if it was his sons. I'm pretty sure it was his sons. But you know the thing.
Oh,
yeah.
So when you say the Bananos, you mean actual Bananos?
Actual Bananos, yeah. The last name Banano, Bill,
right.
the son Bill, and what's the other son's name? I think Joe. Yeah, they both done time here in California. But the reason being that I'm up on a lot of the stuff as far as reading, and you know, not to say everything's true that we read in books and all that, because like you said, majority of it is written by guys that flipped, or they try to take stuff from wiretaps. You know, some of these authors, they try to take things from wiretaps or like Stone, stuff like that. But the OC over here mimic a lot of their not so much the rules, but the way they organize as far as the leadership, the hierarchy. They mimic the CN. You know what I mean? So that's where the curiosity started. Me getting schooled in my own within my own people's struggle, I guess you could say, and then seeing the similarities. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what crew you're with or what organization. This is what matters. You know what I mean? She got old. Pass me a little.
I gotta. Well, it's funny to me. It's probably not funny to anybody else. In 1971, right? So 69, 70. I was just 2 years old when my father took us on the land. And what we were doing, we were going into Canada and then flying down by helicopter into, I believe it was Portland, Oregon. And then from there, we were going to California. And from California, we went into Mexico. But my mother always told this story that she thought that, being that we were on the land, like it was the end of it. And my father wound up getting a reservation in a restaurant in San Diego. So now my brother is 6 and I'm 2, right? I'm a 2-year-old baby. And we're sitting at the table and these guys came in and my mother always told the story. They looked like they came from 18th Avenue, she used to say, right? Which is Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. And they come over and they introduce themselves to my father. And my father gets up and walks away with them and went and talked to them. It turned out that supposedly they got the word that my father was in the area. And they were wise guys from San Diego.
Right. So I believe, if I remember correctly, San Diego was up under LA. If I remember correctly. The LA guy ventured down to San Diego.
Dragna.
Yeah, Dragna and Dominic Brooklier. I think I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Dominic Brooklier, I think his name. Damn, at least you weren't eating bacon on some dude's lap at 3. Well, you weren't on Sunny Francis.
No.
You weren't on Sunny Francis' lap, bouncing up and down eating bacon.
No. But I'll tell you what, I was a little kid. I used to be so proud. I had a picture because I didn't know my father. So I had a picture. And we were sitting in a wicker chair. I was on his lap. And on the banner above us, it said, "Welcome to Tijuana, 1972," right? And I used to be so proud of the picture, and my mother used to get annoyed whenever I'd pull it out and show people. And when I got older, I was like, why does that annoy you? She goes, because that was a picture he used to send to the feds to fuck with them.
Okay, here we go. Dominic Philip Brooklier, but he was really born Domenico Buccielleri. He was born in November 1914. He died in July of 84. So he was the boss at that time.
I couldn't tell you. I was 2 years old.
Yeah, but I remember his names. And he appointed. So at that time, right there, I believe Fratiano was the acting boss at that time. Fratiano
In California.
Yeah, he appointed.
Well, like I said, I couldn't tell you. All I know from hearing from my mother was they picked up the check and they gave my father carte blanche. You know?
Yeah, and he appoints Jimmy Fratiano as acting boss, but then a little bit later he sees that Fratiano's trying to challenge his authority. So then dude puts a hit on Fratiano, and then Fratiano we know flipped.
Yep, another government cooperating with me.
Yeah, and that's how, I don't know if you guys ever watched the movie American Me, but that's where in the movie they show the guy when he gets out, that didn't really happen in real life. They try to put two different stories about two different bosses at two different times together.
Yep, and that didn't go well for them.
Yeah, what happened was it was Fratiano confronted Champ Reynoso. The guy's name was Adolf Champ Reynoso. He just passed away like 2 years ago in the feds. He was a city commission member of the Mexican Mafia. Well, what happened was Fratiano confronted him about moving on somebody, but when they investigated further, they found out that no, this guy that Fratiano was saying was telling wasn't the case. It was actually Fratiano, and they didn't fulfill they didn't actually do it. Whatever the deal that they made on taking this guy out, because it ended up being Fratiano who was lying, and it was him that was wired for sound or whatever. Yeah, Cheyenne Cadena. Yeah.
Wow.
So so Cheyenne Cadena is the guy in American Me, the main character Santana. He's the guy that gets thrown off on the tier at the end. But real story, it wasn't the Mexican Mafia that killed him. It was actually the NF. The NF threw him off the tier. And it's funny, not funny, but he died the same day Castallano died, but 13 years before. December 16, 1972, Chino Pamal and threw him off the tier. And they incorporated his story with Champ Reynoso's story and try to make it one story, but it was actually two different guys. That's how Edward James almost. That's why he was in hot water though, because he was he put that rape scene in there in that movie, man, and they were hot about that.
He was stubborn throughout the process, and it came back later on and bite him in the ass. And if it wasn't because he knows certain people, he wouldn't have been out making movies.
Yeah, and then so he knew Danny Trejo, and Danny Trejo was actually with these dudes back in the 60s. He was doing time with these guys back in the 60s, so he knew a lot of them. And he told him, man, he said, look, he said, you fucked up. And he said, oh, it's just art or something like that. He made an excuse, like it's just
theatrics.
There you go. Exactly, that's what he said. And he was like, no, it don't work that way. You know what I mean? So he was in trouble there for a minute. I don't know if he ended up paying some money to get from up under that, which I'm pretty sure he probably did. Because he just disrespected a legend in that, even though the guy was dead already 20 years, he disrespected that he disrespected the organization. You know what I mean?
Well, from what I understand, wasn't there a few people that were fucking killed in that movie?
Okay, so so there was two guys that were actual members back in the 70s, Rocky Luna and Charlie Brown. I think his last name was Manriquez. These guys were actually members back in the 70s. I believe one of them was still in good standings. The other one might not have been, or they might have both been in still good standings, but they took on this job as what's that word? They like a standby, like professionals, so-called. Like sometimes when I have an ex-cop on while they're doing cop movie, I forgot the name, but
advisor. Yeah,
they were
advisor.
Yeah, there you go, like an advisor, right? So they were. That's what they were doing. They got clipped, and then the lady from the movie, Timmy.
Casting director.
Anna, I think it was Anna Lizarraga. She was in the movie. She was the heavyset lady that was playing, I think, the aunt or the grandma. She was like real big in the neighborhood as far as gang intervention, gang prevention, and they killed her too. Consultant, there you go, consultant. They were advisors / consultants.
That's
right. So yeah, they did them dudes in, man. You know.
It was a message. It was a message because they all worked within the structure in the community, and they understood certain things weren't to be done, and the Hollywood aspect of things. And Edward J. John was really lucky he wound up like them. He had he knew people. That's what saved his ass.
And two, at the end of the day, it's just like over there in just like with this CN, Omerta. Don't silencio. Don't talk about it. It's a secret society. You're not supposed to admit it. Even if you have the black hand tattooed on you with the letters EME, you don't talk about it. You don't admit it. You know, they were actually using the name in that movie. You know, Mexican Mafia in Miami. They were using the name in the movie. When they came out with that other movie, Blood and Blood Out, they never used that name. They used La Onda. You know, they knew because both the movies came around the same time. I don't remember if American Me came out first, but they were both around the same time. So I don't know if they learned their lesson from that movie, and that's why they didn't use the actual name, or if they just did better. You know, they were just better. They had better consultants and providers about it.
Carlos, I want to ask you a question. Lou said no, but I don't agree with them. I said that if I ever get locked up in Cali, right? Once I get inside, I'm going to tell them, I'm going to tell all the homies, right, that the top guys of the MA sent me, and they have to give me their commissary on commissary day. They could just put it on my bed. What do you think?
Whoa.
No?
Damn. You don't want to go home.
Yeah.
All right, that won't work.
No, that won't work. You're gonna be in the infirmary.
Luckily, if you're lucky. You know what I mean? If you're a big guy,
with me.
Maybe you're a big guy. Maybe you'll get through the first wave. You know. But yeah, no.
I don't care how big you are. You can only handle so many waves.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen guys. I know a guy who's, you know, not real tall, but he gets about 6. He's about 6'2", 6'3". He passed now, but he blows up big. You know, big dude. And he was able to handle, like, they sent guys on him about 4 times, and he was able to whoop them. But that's a big exception. That no, you're not gonna. Eventually, they're gonna get you because you can't beat web metal and it strength in numbers. You know what I mean? So eventually, you know, that's why when I say that there's no way in hell people are gonna be talking to people like that. I give a fuck how tough you think you are, how big you are. You're not gonna be calling people bitches and punks and all that. You know, you're gonna get something put up.
No.
You know, it's just simple. You know, so. You know, that's why I say there ain't nothing old school about that, right? No true convict's gonna be doing that. So it's all for it's all for character on it.
You don't do that in the streets either. Carlos, sounds better since you got it fixed.
Oh, what the hell were we talking about?
Huh?
I forgot what we were talking about.
Oh, Carlos, I don't want to change the temperature. Carlos, I don't want to change the temperature of the show here, but did you give Chicago a call and ask them if you could be on here?
Oh yeah. Some asshole came in here the other day talking about, did we get permission to be on this platform from him? Yeah, okay.
Oh my god. I tried to call him by his code name, 4-leaf Tayback. Yeah, I don't pay attention to that dude. They even said it today that I think he moved out and took all his videos with him.
Yeah, no, he did because I was
David packed it in.
David, Paul, Herman, Henry. He's been called everything for the last 6 months. I could care less who he actually really is because I already know he's a fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he packed it in.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. I think he made a video saying that he's mad and he's
good
going. The community got a bunch of traitors and rats, and I guess he's talking to us. And then he's mad at King Shades. This not, I don't know this. You know, people don't quote me because this is a text message I got. So.
Me too. I got a text message today too saying that that Angel kind of called him out, like, why'd you make a video about Kane Shades? You could have just made a phone call, which I agree with. And there was no need to be using the bitch word in the video. You know, you could have, you know, whatever. But I heard that.
He's a fraud. He's a fraud.
Yeah, I heard that somebody told me today from a text message that they came at him with, why are you bragging about calling the police? Remember, guys, he's 9 foot tall and benches 1,500 pounds. I know. He threatened me that he was gonna press my fat ass.
You're pretty
road, all this tough shit. I've been listening to this tough shit, and it's just to that point. It's like at the end of the day, like it don't even bother me no more. I laugh at it because my thing is real simple. If you're questioning looks and shit like that, and you live behind an avatar, and that's your way to come at me, even make videos to go to that extent. But you're too cowardly to show your face. Knock yourself out. I ain't paying you no mind. You're a character. I'm not talking about subscribers. I respect anonymity. I'm talking about these clowns that want to make a living with making videos.
Let me set the record straight. I hide behind an avatar and I'm fucking ugly.
Yeah. So am I.
Yeah, but you've never came on here, you know, disrespecting people, calling them out their names, that, you know, and then you could just whip everybody and make fun of this one because they're fat, this one because they ain't got no teeth, this one because they're bald, this one because they're fucking handicapped, this one because they're, you know, whatever, from an immigrant. You know, it's a bunch of bullshit. You know, it's a bunch of bullshit. And, the story is you're perfect. You know what I mean? Everything in your life is perfect. You know, even your wife after 30 years of marriage is still a 10. Oh, wow. I mean, where the fuck does that happen?
Well,
you know
Lou, just look at the facts, right? He's a 1%er biker. He did a lot of time, so he has prison experience that he learned from, right? He's got a Purple Heart. He's a war hero, right? He killed hundreds of people. I mean, the dude's interesting. The dude has a lot going on.
Yeah, but you forgot his family. He comes from a family of 3 generations of war heroes.
I left that out, and I left out his wife. His wife is a 10.
Yeah. Got more money that he can shake a stick out. It's coming out of his ears, but yet he works for the government. I guess he can't use the phone to get on the live. He can't get on the live. Get the fuck out of here, man.
I left that out too.
To come out there and say a bold-faced lie about me and us that we gave his information, dude, you have no significance in my life, period. And now you got these other 2 fake-ass motherfuckers that don't show their face either behind fake names, guaranteed that they know without a doubt that I gave his information. The fuck out of here, man. Fucking straight clown, man. You know, one thing, you don't like me, that's one thing, but don't come on here making a straight-ass fucking lie. You know what I mean?
Lou, you were there.
Yeah.
I fucking challenged him over and over. Just come on a live with me. He wouldn't come.
Yeah, I told him. It was my channel. You said something. Some dummy went in here making stupid ass comments. Yep. You said what you said, and all of a sudden he pops up, and we're like, "Well, jump on then, motherfucker!" And of course, that's when he bails. I'm out of here. Yeah, get the fuck up out of here. Don't even come back. I don't have my picture up because I have a turkey neck like Mitch McConnell.
Agnostic.
Another thing, he comes out with this whole face lie, and then you got these other 2 jerk offs fucking they're co-signing it. That they know for a fact that all 3 of us gave his information about him and his family to somebody. And then you got people in the comments answering back like, "Oh, really? I didn't know that. Thanks for telling." Like, are you serious, people? You've been on, some of these people been on the lives with us. They've been on our show. We spoke about real life shit, not clowning people, not going at people. One of the subscribers, even from the same neighborhood Nelson's from, and then you're gonna fucking just take their word for it like it's gospel when they don't even you know nothing about these people. Period. You don't even see their face. You know.
I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. I like Lesso. I do. I'm just surprised that he blindly followed this fucking asshole. You know,
even after they called him out for being a fucking acting like a little girl one day, and all this shit boils from a fucking wrench. You know what I mean? Most of all this shit's because of a wrench.
Oh, he's a little wrench slut.
Yeah.
It's all this is crazy. Like me, I've always been a big one of being unaccountable, and what my brother Lou's going through is wrong. See, me and Nelson have owned what we did, and we tired to we're blue in the face of saying what we own. All this other shit that they bringing up now with this docs in Chicago, bitch, we don't give two fucks about Chicago. We said it today when we did the response video. We don't give a fuck about full leaf payback. We don't care about you. Make all the videos you want. We don't want to hear it. Until you tell us to show us who you are, you talking out your ass. You're a computer expert, you're this, you're that, you can't get on a goddamn live. But you could go on Twitter and you can make a video, man. Save that bullshit. I don't want to hear it.
Boo.
Yeah.
I have a wrench in this. I have a wrench on this channel, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good. I want to practice. I'm gonna practice using it. I'm gonna block Carlos.
Yeah.
You can't block Carlos. He's got a wrench too.
But I promise I wouldn't even go
give
get that dude energy. It sucks that he took off running, which I knew eventually he would do because he's done it before. I'm mad. I'm taking my toys, I'm taking my ball, and I'm going home.
Right. And like I said, none of that shit bothers me. You can talk shit. Of course, you can say I'm a bitch, I'm a punk bitch, I'm a fucking buster, la 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 la. But the fact I don't like the lies. Don't lie about me. Don't lie and say some bullshit. And that's another thing too. If then people want to believe that, then you know what? I don't want nothing to do with you guys anyways. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been on this thing long enough where you should pretty much know my character and what I'm about. And I don't even come on here disrespecting people. You think I'm really gonna be fucking? First of all, I don't even know how to do that shit. I'm not tech savvy at all. I don't even know how to fucking do a lot of that shit. But you know what? I don't even have to explain all that. It's simple. If you want to believe that and you want to make comments like, oh my God, thanks for telling us. You want to believe two people that you don't even know what they look like, then you can keep it moving.
What's funny to me is he's been talking for the last fucking couple of months about doxing that other fucking scumbag. What's that scumbag's name? So Slow, that fucking sex offender, right? So if it's okay for him to do it to SoFlo, then why is everybody mad when that fucking fruitcake did it to him?
Well, yeah, I get that's what Kane Shays came out. I guess Kane Shays said the other day that's what that shit started from. He said that you started it, or you went at his family first, or something like that, and he didn't like that, right? Which I don't really know who.
He basically drew. He basically what he was saying was you basically drew first blood. And anybody knows the timeline and watch what's going on back and forth, what he said wasn't true. Whether you like either side or not, or who you like, it's the truth. What he said. He's not picking a side. He's stating the obvious.
And I'm always, dude, and I'm clear about it. I can't stand SoFlo. I can't stomach that guy. But you're threatening him. So why would you be so upset when he does to you what you're threatening him with? Right.
Yeah. So I mean, it's selective outrage. It's when you feel just like the other day they want to come at you and another guy for being in this chat, but then put in the conversation, oh, another guy gets a pass. You know what I mean? Just because that guy has more people, because that guy has a channel, and that guy has people behind him. So, you get a pass. You know what I mean? It's a bunch of bullshit.
Tim,
you know what I mean?
It's what it is.
I'm reading the comment. Tim,
hold on. Wait. Hold up. What'd you say, Carlos? Wait, hold up. Go ahead, Carlos.
I said, what's going on, and it's not going to change anything, is that people feel that they need to be aligned to a team, to a side. For everything else that's logical thinking that's in there, all that shit goes out the window. People still going to ride with it. and then they do the hypocrisy stuff, and they don't want to stand out in the chat. That's why so many people stay quiet and don't speak up on shit. And it's just so fake.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ignacio. You're gonna read that comment.
Yeah. Hey, Tim Egan. Here's the deal. Well, Lou don't know, but Carlos knows that where I'm from, the Hells Angels clubhouse, for all my life, they moved to the Bronx now, but for all my life, they were a block away from me. Okay? I knew a lot of those guys. I still know a lot of those guys. If Chicago comes on a live with me, I will prove to everybody that he was never, ever in the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club. I will prove it beyond any doubt. All he has to do is come on a live. I will ask him 3 questions, and he will fail. So, Tim, you're absolutely right. He's full of shit. He was never in the Hells Angels, and he shouldn't be running around saying that.
Yeah, and just like that,
his government job won't allow him to. He's not allowed to get on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, just like what Tim Egan said right there. When he asked him the question, he fucking took off. Right, he ran away. Just like when they hit him up about being a Marine, he does any type of questions that got to do with being anything with the armed forces. He don't answer. He runs away. Just like when you tell him jump on the live, he runs away. You know what I mean? But he'll go make his videos.
Yeah,
he can suck a dick with all that.
He's a clown.
Yep.
He's a
straight
coward.
payaso. Yep, straight. That's what I said. I made a little video 2 days ago about keyboard warriors and all these little movidas, these moves they pull and talk. It's all a form of cowardice.
I caught it.
Cowardice. You know what I mean? Straight cowardice.
I caught it. You were sitting in your car.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
that
but
dude
Lou, the next time you do a video, next time you do a video sitting in your car, could you do us a favor and sit on the booster seat so we could see you?
Well, you know, I turned the phone sideways, so yeah. He said he was outlaws before he said he was. Yeah, okay, he said he was outlaws. I heard he said something about pagans and angel and HA, red and white. So I don't. Yeah, and those are enemies. You know, I don't know outlaws. Outlaws enemies with Hells Angels too. I'm not sure about that.
Absolutely, arch enemies.
Right. See, so just like over here in Cali, Mongols and them are enemies. Chicago payaso forever. Yeah.
What does that mean, payaso?
Clown.
Clown?
Payaso's a clown. Payaso, it's a clown. Fucking yeah, it is what it is, man. Just
he'll be back. He'll be back. He'll come back with a different.
We gave him a
avatar. I had to regroup. I had to watch the community. Now the community needs me. Same routine. No. He's a troll. He's a YouTube character. Is what he.
Yeah, he's a troll. He's a fucking joke. You know, and like I said, like,
you got these guys. You got these guys calling him Big Brother.
Yeah, but you guys know nobody that's really about any type of that lifestyle. You know, not even talking about made guys. Just a person that's, you know, is in the streets. Ain't gonna come obsessing about rats. You know, fuck a rat. Rats die. Da da da. You know, of course they're not gonna like rats. But they're not gonna be making claims and shit. You know, stupid ass shit. You know what I mean? These people are fake fucking people. I mean, they're people, but what I'm saying is they're playing a fake fucking role that they're not about that life. I guarantee you, probably 8 or 9 out of 10 of them, if they find out they're sitting next to a rat on the bus or on the fucking train, they're not gonna do nothing to him. Period. They're not gonna harm a hair on his head or her head. Yep. Guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? But they come on here, da, 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 da. You know, get up out of here with all that bullshit, man. You know, and then you got this asshole talking about, I won't hesitate to call 911 and the FBI. You know, but of course he's got an excuse for why he's threatening that. You know, all of a sudden now because I mentioned something about that, I got a problem with cops. I've never said I had a problem with cops. Never.
They're always going to spin the narrative and use the what about this. Well, you know, but what about this? But these guys do this and these guys do that now. Listen, at the end of the day, it's not even about severity anymore. They're both indulgent. same shit. It's been okay. People that y'all cool with have done. Y'all want to be outraged at certain things. So that's why I leave it. I'll let it play out. I can care less. Now, when you want to accuse me and my brothers of some shit, just come ask us. We own our shit. All the other bullshit is just talk out there. They mad. Triggered.
Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is, man. You know.
But Lou,
yeah.
Lou struck a nerve with me with that sitting on the bus because today me and the kid went shopping. We went food shopping, and I wind up running into my buddy, and my buddy, he got violated on parole, and the reason he got violated was because my neighbor ratted him out. So I don't do anything to the rat. I just don't even talk to him. Like if he sees me in the store, in the coffee shop, he don't even talk to me.
Right.
I would like to do something, but it ain't worth it.
Right. Yeah, but you got a kid you're raising, you know, and you're all you got.
Yeah.
You know? So but you're not on here talking about fuck rats. You're not on here doing that. You know what I mean? So it's a different situation. You know, we all know that if you could and the circumstances were different, that you probably would have handled it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you got somebody else to think about. You know what I mean? Just like Carlos
dude,
had somebody, you know, he got kids too. I got kids. I left that shit alone, man. But these people, you know, they blah 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 talking out their neck all the time, man. They really want to bring you back to your old self, man. And they don't know who they're fucking with, man. They're gonna make a really bad mistake. You know what I mean? But the problem is, a lot of them, we don't know who they are. You know, so it is what it is. So that's why it's just best to say fuck them, and you know, yeah.
Well, I'm just glad to see David gone.
Oh, I thought you were talking about David. It was here, David Hunt. Oh, you're talking about that other David. Yeah.
No, David Montpez.
Yeah,
Forley Payback.
Yeah, Forley. Yeah.
Gnostic, do you know who Forley Payback is?
Oh yeah. That's Chicago Hustle. Hey, Carlos, did you ever know anybody from Chicago?
No, just my brother Primo here. I met a couple of dudes that did business in Chicago.
Right? And for any Chicagoans listening to this, no disrespect, but you guys got a fucked up accent. And when I listen to that asshole, he doesn't sound like he's from Chicago.
And the ones I was around there was Chicago. They were about their business.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the accent alone.
Oh, yeah.
I spoke to Primo today. Yeah, I know people from Chicago and know the accent. I knew a few people through the system that were from Chicago originally, and then a cat moved out this way that we were like family. He moved when I was young, when I met him, and he was from Chi-Town, and no, doesn't sound nothing like that. You know?
Nope.
You know, the only thing I will say is this: that a lot of people know about Chicago, Detroit, you know, St. Louis. Maybe not St. Louis, but Detroit, Chicago area, Milwaukee, Indiana. A lot of people moved from the South up there back in the day. You know, obviously for the car industry boom and shit like that. But so a lot of them sometimes have southern draws and accents somewhat, or some words they say are from the South. But from everything else we've heard, it's so easy to determine it's straight BS. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is not a Chicago accent.
Shout out to my brother Primo. That's another brother from that I met while in the community that I consider a real brother. Not that word thrown around by most of these motherfuckers around.
Yeah, I spoke to him today. I spoke to him on the phone today. He's not sold on, you know, who the dude is. He got even, and I'm gonna say this because he did put in the comments, so it wasn't like it's not something he told me in confidentiality. But I seen this. He put in one of his comments on one of his videos in the comment section, "Why don't you just show your Purple Heart by now? This shit is too much." and the guy liked his comment, but didn't respond back. And we know why he didn't respond back, because he don't have one. You know.
Yeah, like the thing with Primo, and I would say this now, and I don't look at Primo any differently for who his friends are. He doesn't look at me any differently for who my friends are, because he's had ongoing issues, but he's always been consistent. And he defended me when it came to Chicago Muscle. And that's one thing I don't forget. It's little gestures like that. That's it. I'm gonna ride with you.
Well,
it was a big gesture to me.
Luke can tell you I don't defend anybody.
You too, Agnostic. You did to me. You defended us.
You defended us, yeah.
You defended us, yeah.
You defended us that day in MRE's chat when, defended us, no doubt. And then what did he do? He blocked you like the fucking poo butt fucking sissy he is. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know, he came over here to my channel. Me and Agnostic was on the other day, and Carlos, you jumped on a little bit later, and he was talking shit, and I didn't even block him. You know what I mean? So, you know.
Well, I'll say this, and people, this is the misconception, and my brother Lou gets a lot of flack because he's part of the no-fly zone, and it's me, Lou, and Nelson. But a lot of times, most of our decisions are based on a decision. If we take a vote on stuff that we decide to talk about or get involved in. But at the end of the day, even still, whether I make a wrong decision on certain things that Lou might not agree with or Nelson doesn't, we do not break each other. This dust doesn't get broken down. You will not see us on the screen fighting with each other like a bunch of girls or doing none of that shit. And we have people try to use a lot of disinformation to spread flat out lies on screen to try to, dissuade that. Nah, it won't work.
Yeah, we've already had some of them try to come in between us, like put out false narratives, like, oh, I'm not pulling my weight, shit like that, trying to get us to turn on each other. You know what I mean? They're fucking snakes, man. And they know who they are.
Who was it the other day? I was in the chat. It was either you or Carlos, and that Father Guido Sarducci was going at it with them. You got to admit, Father Guido. Listen, Father Guido is the best. You got to admit it.
Father Guido is awesome. He rocks. He's one of the better trolls.
I seen him a couple times, and then he came on here the other day. But who was he going at it with who? Chicago?
Probably somebody in the comment section. That's like Chicago, like he usually does. But it comes with it. My shit is real simple. Act. That's it. I'll go with the bullshit narrative. Fuck out of here.
Yeah. Guido is pretty funny. What do you say? Guido is pretty LOL. Yeah, a lot of people
Guido's
like
funny as shit. Guido's funny as hell.
People like him.
Oh yeah.
But
Guido's another good guy that speaks up. That doesn't. What it is you got a lot of mob mentality. Guido's gonna always speak on how he feels, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
He's gonna go where he want to go.
Yeah. And that's okay. That's all right. At No Fly Zone and here at What It Do with Big Lou, we don't trip on people's opinions. You don't gotta agree with us, and it's fine. You state what it is on your mind, and it's all good in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? We'll roll with it, and we'll discuss whatever you're putting out there. We'll discuss it. You know what I mean, or whatever. But yeah, that's what's up.
Here's an opportunity for both you and Carlos to annoy the living shit out of me. What's the temperatures where you guys are at?
Oh, the real temperature? Hold on.
Let me see.
You know what I mean? I turned the second phone on, knock them out for the jet.
Right now it's 63 degrees. Earlier it was 72.
74 over here.
All right, thank you. I'm annoyed.
Tomorrow's gonna be 70. It's gonna be 77 tomorrow.
Maybe one day in the whole year I actually wish for snow. Other than that, I don't. I like the. I've been acclimated.
It snows in Florida?
Right now, I got frost on my windshield.
No, it don't snow in Florida, Lou. I seen it snow. Like the most I've ever seen was a part of Florida called Christmas, and that sounds funny in itself. But yeah, I was over there and I actually like seen snow where you could actually see it stay for a little bit before it dissolved. Like, oh shit. But other than that, I haven't seen it out here.
Wow.
Like I said, I got
crazy.
frost on my windshield.
Oh man.
Yeah, it doesn't snow.
I don't miss it. I really don't. I thought I would, no, I really don't. I had a phobia as a kid. I used to worry about what was under the snow.
My car was frosted until 10:30 this morning.
Ooh, shit! Wow.
May the force be with you.
We're not even in November, December, January yet.
Nope.
My thing with you guys, you have never done any of the funny style stuff ever on here. Yeah, we don't, and that's what gets me when they just put out false ass lies, and then obviously people freaking buy it and just feed right into it. These are this is coming from the same people that supposedly got receipts and proof about everything, but we're just supposed to take their word for it. Or
that's where it came from. If you look at it, and I keep it a buck, so to say, and I love to say that, but it's the truth. You ain't had no part of it, but what me and Nelson did, we did somebody that we thought was a friend at the time a favor and gave him some stuff that we would not normally do, because there's no videos on our catalog of us doing shit or going to somebody, and they want to use the word doxing. No. If it's gotten off of goddamn Google and it's taken off of Facebook and we had the fucking brains to fucking actually snatch that shit, that's not doxing, dumbass. So we did that.
Doxing is when you put people's full names out there, you put their addresses, you put their phone numbers, you put their criminal background or their any type of background about them, or family. That's doxing. You know what I mean? But even then,
I was watching earlier.
But that's not what we're being accused of. What you just said, Carlos. I know I'm saying this so people understand. We're being accused of something totally different than that. Now this asswipe is saying that we did it to him and his family, which he don't mean shit to us. We go about our day every day. We don't sit there and worry about, oh man, are we going to figure out who he is today? Come on, man. We give a flying
but that's because he's an egomaniac as a troll. Like, it's real simple, stupid ass. How many times have both sides said that they have people in each other's camp? But what they do is they pass off disinformation or what they think is going on, and these dumbasses believe half the shit that's going on. Yep. And it's like, nah, we ain't got no part in none of that. I doxed him. I rather you do no. We stopped thinking about you after we made the response video. We weren't worried about you. How you gonna attack us? Making a video where you laugh 5 minutes through the whole fucking video? Come on, man. We already know you're a fraud. You're a fraud. You got 111 excuses. You claim stolen valor, and none of these people even see it.
Right, and that doesn't bother nobody as Americans or even allied forces, right? Because there's a lot of people on here from England and Ireland and stuff. It doesn't bother you that this dude's claiming to have that, but yet he don't want to show it. There's a way to show it. You don't dox yourself. But you know how many soldiers that their families lost them, and all they have to remember them by is a Purple Heart and an American flag. And this asshole can just say whatever that he's this, he's that, and it doesn't bother nobody. Come on, I don't get that.
The end a lot, and instead is the truth. The ends a lot for these people with these teams or these sides justifies the means. They hate a couple of content creators so much, and their battles with them so much that everything else gets overlooked. Like with him, we were told on a private live to take one from the team when me and him were beefing over his bullshit with the renters. And I said, you know what? I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave Chicago alone. I'm not going to mention his name. I said, I'll take one for the team. I said, but y'all protecting him. I was like, you come at me sideways again. I was like, it's on. I don't give these shits about what. Oh, he's good for the cause. I don't care about the cause. I'm not gonna eat that man's shit because y'all think he's special.
Right. So, you know.
Well, like I said, if he ever comes on a live, if he ever comes on a live, I promise everybody that's listening to this, I promise you, I'll prove that he's not a Marine. I'll prove that he doesn't have a Purple Heart. I'll prove that he was never in the Hells Angels, and I'll prove that he's a total fraud.
And you'll prove,
Just have him come on.
And you'll prove his wife is not a 10. You know what I mean? 30 years of marriage, and she's still a 10, huh?
Well, he could prove that. All he's got to do is just show us a picture of her rolls.
He ain't proving anything. He'd have been done, did it. And if he did try to prove something, it'd be do like he did with the picture. It'd be handed off to somebody that's already a fan. So it is. So,
Tim says, I think he's been stewing about it since he lost his wrench with the no-fly zone. I never asked you guys about it, but I could see what was happening. Oh yeah, he got mad. He got mad because we told him.
Oh yeah.
We told him we have set rules. See, and that's the thing with this guy. The content creator can give the instructions to the wrenches on what they want blocked and what they want left alone. Well, this asswipe will just fucking do what he wants. And when he gets called on it, like we called him on it, at one point, Code of the Streets called him on it, and Carlos unblocked somebody that he didn't like personally. So if he don't like you personally, he'll just block you. Regardless of whatever you're saying. You might not even be saying nothing but hello to the chat or hello to the content creator, and he'll block you. He did that to somebody yesterday. They let me know. And then that's exactly what happened yesterday, you know, in another channel. I didn't see it personally, but they told me there's no reason for them to lie about it.
Look at what he did. He did it to me in MRE's chat.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't like what I was saying because I went back at him, so he blocked me.
Right.
That's what he does. Like the issue between me and him started and branched over to the no-fly zone was the simple fact that me and him met each other in Pizza's chat when I was acting as the Punisher. Then he moved over. He went to FBS for a while. He made his movie, did whatever. He was always Chicago Muscle. But there was always people that were military that always questioned this shit, and I defended him. I used to, because I thought he was funny. I thought he was cool. I didn't pay it any mind. But eventually, when we had fucking made a phone call and reached out, we reached out to South Florida phone call. It went south from there. He actually went and threatened us now on an email, on Twitter, and an email like about who the hell we thought is on now, this and that. What are you gonna do? You're not gonna beat our asses. You're gonna make videos because we reached out somebody. You know what? You're a fraud. You don't stand nobody. You got all these people bought into your nonsense. But everything has been about a wrench everywhere because he talks like a little woman.
Yeah, because we know that. But when it comes down to putting hands out, if he ever came near me, he knows that I'll have to give him a Depends and his wife a cucumber.
A cucumber?
He talked a good game. The famous meet me on a dirt road and this and all this other bullshit. Yeah. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. I don't believe it, son.
Listen.
I don't believe it, son.
Don't listen to this Father Guido Sarducci with this Puerto Rican shit, because he was in a chat. He was saying he hates Puerto Ricans.
He did? That's what he's saying. He's saying if I found cool,
Father Guido, listen. Father Guido only likes Italians. He hates Puerto Ricans.
What's cool mean? Kiss my ass or up your ass, or what does that mean?
Go fuck yourself.
Oh, he's a control freak with those wrenches. Yeah, I know. Of course. Yep. But
when like even if it's not smart. That's like somebody right now. Somebody calls me up and they be like, "Yo, your brother Lou is this, your brother Lou is that." What? Are you what the hell is wrong with you? What are you talking about? Like, you call Nelson up because you mad that I unblocked Lefty in the chat and call me a buster? Nelson was like, "What's wrong with you, dude? Why you even calling my brother buster? What's your problem?" But he gets butthurt. He was butthurt over Red.
But this is after
content creator and told her to take my rent away. He was a little bit.
Right, but this is after. This is
Hey, Carlos.
after Code, whose show it was. Code said, "Don't block Lefty. I like Lefty." You know what I mean? So, what the fuck? Like, you know, you're gonna tell the person whose fucking channel it is what the fuck they're gonna do? Meet me in the rectory.
Carlos.
Yo.
Yeah. I'm scared. I'm not going to a rectory with a priest.
Oh, I bet you're.
Hey, Carlos, you go on Lefty's chat. Answer me honestly. Is it true that he's going to overdose on a live soon?
Yeah, that's what people say. I don't believe it. And God forbid if it was to happen. You know, actually, that's my boy, but he's a grown man, and you know, it's not like we don't conversate with that man. So if that be the case, if the man upstairs decides that that's where it's gonna happen, that's where it has to happen.
Let me make something clear.
Hey,
let me make something clear. I don't conversate with him. I don't.
I don't. But
and I'm only saying that ain't got nothing to do with Carlos. I'm not. And I know you know. I'm just saying this so people don't try to make something out of this. That has nothing to do with Carlos being cool with him. That doesn't bother me none. It's just I feel a certain way because I feel a certain way.
Nope.
And I'm not gonna go into the details about it, but it is what it is. You know what I mean?
But we're grown men. We're not like the other people in the community because this person is mad at this person. You got to be absolutely mad at them the same way. And it's appalling that you can actually, you know, talk to this. Like, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
No, Carlos. Listen, I don't care for the kid. I'm like Lou. I don't deal with the kid. I don't care for him. But in all honesty, that kid does need help, man. He's gonna fucking die. Look at him.
Well, it's not that I don't like him. I do like him. I do like him. It's just that he got loose and threw my name into something that I didn't talk to him about. I'm not gonna go into details of what it is. And because of that, I just can't. I can't do it. You know what I mean? And there was another thing too, and I'm not gonna even put that out there. But I just want to make it clear because I don't want. I know I'm not saying nobody that's here right now, but people like to make things out of nothing. So that's why I made, because me and Carlos know we speak. He know already how we feel about things and what we feel about certain things and what we don't feel about other things. And he knows that I'm not like holding that against him or nothing. He knows that. So I want to make it clear here and now. That nobody tries to make something out of that. What I just said. That's why I said that.
Carlos.
Yeah.
Carlos, I second that. You know that, right? I feel the same way Lou does. Oh, all right.
That's one thing about us. Like my brother knows. We've said it. We're not gonna look at each other differently for who we happen to think is a friend or who is not a friend and stuff like that. It's like, you know.
Like I said, Father Guido was just telling me the other day he don't like Puerto Ricans, but I'm on here with you.
That's what's up. Now we already know how we feel about you. There's son that rock with us.
Yeah, but I'm gonna make something else clear.
I meant to say that muted.
Yeah.
I want to make something else clear too. We had been rocking with Lefty for a while, right? Even before he started his own channel, I was rocking with him a lot. I had been on different shows with him on the panels. I don't wish nothing bad on him or anybody else. Even this fucking asshole, I don't wish him getting hurt or any of that either. But you know, I will say fuck you. You know what I mean? Not to Lefty. I'm talking about to this other clown. You know, I don't wish nothing on nobody because you know at the end of the day they got family that have nothing to do with this shit, and I don't want people's families to be hurting because you know of loss of a loved one or getting hurt, seriously injured or something. I'm not with that, man. You know what I'm saying? I at one point I would say fuck you. I wouldn't give a fuck, but you know I'm a grandpa now, and you know I just changed. You know, grew up. You say,
yeah.
Hey,
Timmy, I don't like
Timmy,
it when
you're correct again.
Oh yeah, he is. But as far as that's one thing I don't do that, and I witnessed it with my friend, with the pastor and my friend both. You know, it was a lot of disrespect, a lot of disrespect. Rest in peace to the spooky ghost.
Look at me. I'm so fucked up. I even get a priest pissed off at me.
Yeah, Father Dude. Oh, that's it. You got Father going at you. That's it.
He said, damn Rican stole my rosary and my holy water.
Father Guido's crazy.
Oh. I didn't want to say that. You know what I mean? I didn't want to discuss his personal business, you know, being that he's a man of the cloth.
Oh, and they called him a puta. Damn. Hey, Father Sarducci, that's Julio, ain't it? Ain't that Julio from Sanford and Son?
No, that's Father Sarducci. There was a stand-up comedian that used to do SNL and stand-up shows.
Yeah, but that's not actually Julio dressed up like
looks
no,
like
that's
Julio.
his real avatar. That's really him.
I remember him from SNL, but I thought it was Julio for some reason. From Saturday Night Live.
Father Guido. Father Guido.
No. Father Guido.
Sarducci.
What's the difference between a puta and a puto?
Male and female?
Female, male.
The O's a male and the A's a female.
Okay.
So.
Oh, okay.
Americone is just Americone, right? It doesn't translate, but you got Malascata, Maloscato.
Maloscato is Catabala. Catabala.
When I was on the island, well, one of my many times on the island, this Puerto Rican kid I used to hang with, we would walk down the hallway, going to like chow or going to the yard or going to commissary. He used to fucking yell out zapato.
Oh, I fucked up. Zapato, that means shoe. You say zapato?
Yeah.
Yeah, that means shoe. Oh, I fucked up. He said, you call me Julio? I'm calling the dirt road guy. No, don't do that. I'm scared. Just don't call Hector. Hector, who was that? Hector. Remember we're Hector in the Soul Patrol. Now. Was it Hector in the Soul Patrol? Or what was it?
Hector, he called us Hector in the Soul Patrol.
Yeah.
Is he threatening to get the dirt road gangster?
Yeah.
Oh God.
The guy that comes from the perfect family with the fucking wife that's still a 10. Yeah. Yep.
Hey, yeah. It was funny though.
Where the fuck are the Ozarks?
Bro. Hey, and I want to touch on that real quick. There's two things. I want to segue to two things.
Can you guys see my avatar?
Yeah.
Yes. But I can't. Okay, I can't make it out.
Okay, but now, so
I'm looking at you.
Yeah, it says what to do with Big Lou Puerto Rican flag with the skull. Yes, but I gotta resize it. What's the name made it for me from the iTalk Chapo? But I'm just checking because sometimes when I put the avatar on, it doesn't show it. It'll show it here on the StreamYard, but then when I play the video back or watch it on another phone, it won't show it. But it is now. So I don't know. That's weird. For the longest, it wasn't showing.
I wanted to touch on this because I thought it was funny, and I've heard this, and I want to state this. I do have a job. I do get my 40 hours weekly. I have leeway to do what I want some days, and some days I don't. Some days I work harder than others. My brother Lou as well. And as far as Nelson, our brother Nelson has a job, and the clown talking about him, you wish you could make movies. You claim to be from the Ozarks. Nelson has actually been in that show.
That's
he has a stag. He has a stag card. You goddamn fraud! But don't you question my brother's employment and what he does for a living?
You wish you could be
part of The Walking Dead.
Boo! I live in such a fucked up area. I haven't had a job in 3 years, and I make more than a living. Figure that one out. And legally.
Yep.
It's amazing.
This one came on saying we ain't had a job. We never worked all this time, and that all of a sudden now we're talking about jobs. The fuck! I've been on my job at that site for 4 years. Fucking dodo bird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm the boss. That's why I'm able to do the things I'm able to do.
It's part of the week, and I consider because it's been used, so I can actually say it's another troll form. It's the same, the narrative. It don't work. They live in mommy's basement. It's the same shit that's been fucking that's been spread over, regurgitated and regurgitated and regurgitated.
From the looks of this guy, the closest he came to a job was his wife, a real blow job.
Oh yeah. Fuck 'em. Yeah, we to be honest with you,
Sister Agnes.
I know we spoke earlier, but we gave this motherfucker more than his 15 minutes of fame today, cocksucker. You know what I mean? But anyways, I got somebody back. I got somebody on their way over to visit right now. I just got the message. I wasn't expecting it. I thought they were going to come a little later, but they just text me saying they're on their way, that they're already in town and they're on their way. So I'm probably going to cut this off. We've already been on 2 hours and 35 minutes. But I enjoyed the discussion tonight.
All right,
again, kid. I think when I have certain topics, it just, for me, it works a lot better when I have people that come on, guests that come on. It was cool having us all on there together today. We bounce off each other.
Yep.
Sometimes you might not have the same.
We had a conversation. This was awesome.
Right. You might not have the same perception as the other guests, so it's always cool. But for the most part, we had the same perception, but agnostic felt differently on certain things. So that was cool to hear the differences, and talk about it. Musk is on his way. Oh shit. Oh, well, good. We're leaving right at 9. I'm scared.
We can agree to disagree and we'll still remain friends and men at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, sir. So
all right,
it is what it is. Appreciate everybody stopping in. Father sent
nice to good seeing you, my brother.
Bella and friends. Tim Egan, Drito 5K.
Read it.
There's some people that didn't tap in. There's some people that didn't. Let me see. Castallano 559, Wolf Day 1A1, Chepe from Sea Dog and Cooper podcast. Just chilling. What's real? That's it. So there's a few people that probably didn't comment that are watching. So I appreciate everybody for stopping in on the actual live, and I also appreciate everybody ahead of time that's going to come back and watch the video after it's uploaded to YouTube.
I want to thank everybody for stopping by and showing my brother Big Lou love. It was a good conversation. Everybody in the chat, I'm sorry I didn't have the other phone on so late to monitor the chat, but everybody that said hi back, and everybody have a joy tonight. Be easy.
And the Father sent us blessings.
Me as well. I second everything that Carlos said.
Yep. All right.
Ignacio, you have a good one, my brother.
Yep. Thanks, fellas, for joining me and participating in this little discussion. And I'm looking forward to doing it again.
Father Guido, you're the best. Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night, everybody. Buenas noches. Buona notte. Good night.